Mm.
And hundreds hit the streets to protest recent immigration action. Good evening, everyone. I'm Pat Harvey.
And I'm Leslie Medine. Juan Fernandez is off tonight.
Well, Sky Cal is live over the demonstrators in downtown LA tonight. These massive rallies began this weekend, and they continue today. KCAL's Amanda Starantino is live in downtown. And Amanda, this really is growing.
Yeah, and it continues to grow throughout the evening. Just take a look behind me. You can see how many demonstrators have come out here. We are on the corner of the Main Street Bridge and Aliso right here. And every single block in this area where we're standing is just covered with people supporting this movement, standing in solidarity with migrants and their big message of against Trump's immigration policy. So right here in this area with LAPD over there, we're right next to the ICE building and the federal building as all these people continue to gather to share their message.
A march of what started with just a few dozen protesters turned into a demonstration of hundreds through the streets of downtown Los Angeles.
This shows that there's too many of them here, man. If anything, if there's nothing else that could encapsulate how too many of them are here other than this. This is great. This gives us an idea. Okay, all right, there's too many of these motherfuckers here. Because look, I know that's not what they're trying to do, but okay. I was kind of on board with the just get the criminals and let the workers stay. But now I'm like, man, get rid of all these motherfuckers. Get rid of all of them. Get rid of all of them. Jeez.
The group calling for a national day of action for a day without immigrants, encouraging the immigrant community not to go to work or school to show the power behind their community and their contributions to the country.
Immigrants are human beings. Immigrants are not criminals.
Throughout downtown Los Angeles, their message heard loud and clear as Mexican and Central American flags waved with the crowds.
The immigrant community is Los Angeles.
Throughout the morning, this rally continued to just grow in size, and by the afternoon, after walking miles through downtown Los Angeles, thousands stopped right here at the Main Street Bridge and Spring Street Bridge, waving and showing their support for this movement here right over the 101.
Oh, my father migrated here when he was 17 years old. If he wouldn't have done that, he wouldn't have met my mom, and I wouldn't be here.
And what a tragedy that would be, right? Oh my God. What would things be like without you? Huh? Oh my God. Could you imagine the world without this woman? Baby. These people are crazy. I mean, could you imagine, like, if my dad didn't break into the country legally, then I wouldn't be here. Like, okay, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Ma'am, who are you? But some chunky refrigerator. You need to get a tattoo on your ass that says Maytag.
Miles through downtown Los Angeles. Thousands stopped right here at the Main Street Bridge and Spring Street Bridge, waving and showing their support for this movement here right over the 101.
Oh, my father migrated here when he was 17 years old. If he wouldn't have done that, he wouldn't have met my mom, and I wouldn't be here. And it's personal.
Maria Ramos of Gardena, a part of the large crowd on the Main Street Bridge.
On the back, I need my dad, because my dad doesn't have papers, but he's not a criminal. And people are like, your dad got deported. I'm like, no, he didn't, but he's at risk every day too. And he's a gardener, so he's a target.
For many, this is personal, and their actions today are fueled by frustration, anger, and passion to speak up for those who are too fearful to do so themselves.
Our parents and our grandparents fought for us to be here, and I feel like the way that they're doing it now, of getting people in the streets and at work, is just horrible.
It's a battle cry from the community fighting for what they believe in and for their hope to stay home.
Every person here is a foreigner to some degree, and we're just standing up for our rights, for what we believe in, for all the hard work that a lot of these individuals, including myself, have done.
And that's why all the Latinos, we come together, because we know our culture, we know our history. They try to erase it in the history books, but we remember where we're from, and we stand together.
All right, and this scene continues to grow here. We have LAPD behind us here at this freeway entrance, and you can see they're actually sandwiched by protesters on both sides here at Main Street in Los Angeles on the other side. So people
great.
holding their signs
Awesome.
proud, just trying to get their message heard here. But gridlock everywhere throughout this area, Pat and Leslie. It's really difficult to get around here. You really can't drive through. Roads are blocked off, at least if you're trying to get through Main Street at this point. It's gridlock all the way down coming out of downtown Los Angeles.
How many times you think somebody grabbed her ass down there, man? She wouldn't tell us if she got her if she got her ass grabbed 100 times. She wouldn't tell us, because that would be racist. That would be racist. That would be racist to tell us how many times you got your ass grabbed down there. This is unacceptable, man. This is wholly unacceptable. What's the difference between that and this woman? I'm not even joking, man. What's the difference between that, what they're doing, and what this woman is doing? This black woman who went to Pakistan. This black lady from New York went to Pakistan. Onijah Robinson. She went to Pakistan in October after falling in love with a 19-year-old local named Nadal Ahmed Mimon through online communication. She now wants to make Pakistan great again. This woman right here, she's taking Pakistan over, man. She is taking Pakistan over.
No. What's your plan? Why you come in Pakistan?
I demand from the government more than $5,000 in USD to make Pakistan a better place. Good night.
Where are you from?
I'm from here.
You're from America?
I'm from here now.
You're from here now. What's your plan?
My plan? I just told you, to make Pakistan a better place.
Why not give her money? When people show up to America, they get put up in hotel rooms. And they get debit cards. And they get health care. They get cell phones. They get vouchers and shit. Pakistan needs to give this woman some money. She showed up at their door, and now she wants some fucking money. They're trying to send her back. She highlights how ridiculous America is with our immigration system. Because what she's doing is basically what these fucking leeches are doing here.
To build houses and make better hotels and bring food into this country.
Don't go back your country.
That's none of your business, and I don't know what you're talking about. Good. I'm getting my Pakistani passport and Pakistani ID. I'm getting it. Do y'all agree?
What are you doing here?
I don't live here. I'm chilling.
You're chilling here. Why are you not taking your flight?
It's none of your business. Now go home.
What demand you want from the Pakistani government or American government?
All right. So the first demand is $20K every 2 weeks from the government.
Listen.
Yes.
Jeddah International Airport.
Yes.
Need to go down. Do you hear me? Once it go down, y'all could get out. I'm not talking unless y'all giving me land and 2,000.
Yo, the power of audacity. A lot of y'all don't know this. This is in the 48 Laws of Power. Interaction with boldness. Interaction with boldness. Okay? Interaction with boldness. And if you get concerned, you get in a bad spot, follow it up with more boldness. Interaction with boldness. That's one of the 48 Laws of Power. This woman, even though she's crazy as shit, she's unwittingly observed one of the 48 Laws of Power. She's entered action with boldness. If you are unsure of a course of action, do not attempt it. Your doubts and hesitations will infect your execution. Timidity is danger. Timidity is dangerous. Better to enter with boldness. Any mistakes you commit throughout audacity are easily corrected with more audacity. Everyone admires the bold. No one honors the timid. Everyone honors the bold. No one honors the timid. This woman has entered action with boldness. And she has taken their whole country by storm. If she wasn't crazy, she could have got everything she wanted. Press 1 if you agree with that. If she wasn't crazy, she could have gotten everything she wanted. But if she wasn't crazy, she wouldn't have been this bold. But let's just say I think it's the same thing with illegal immigrants here. They come here and they like, yo, give us some free shit. And we like, damn. They're like, yeah, man, give us some free shit. And we like, all right. Yeah, okay. Interaction with boldness.
Or more every and 2,000 or more every week. You hear me?
Okay, yeah.
I'm getting my Pakistani passport and Pakistani ID.
You have Pakistani ID?
I'm getting it. Do y'all agree?
Did
No,
Al
I'm not
Ahmed even
agree.
your friend?
Mind your business. What?
Tell me you have a Pakistani passport?
I'm getting one. Do you have one?
I have Pakistani passport.
Oh, you do?
Why are you?
Okay, good.
What are you doing here?
Listen,
Yes. What are you doing here?
I don't live here. I'm chilling.
You chilling here? Why are you not taking your flight?
It's none of your business. Now go home. Here,
Go home, boy.
take it.
Yeah, it's the audacity of it. It's the audacity of what she's doing. They can't. They're mesmerized by it. Their women are not that. Their women are very timid because of the culture. Here's some woman showing up like, yo, give me $2,000 a week, yo. Yo, I'm gonna make your country better. Yo, hey, give me a bunch of money, man. And they like, what the fuck? They're like, who the fuck is this woman? They're like, is she serious? Who is she? She must be somebody important. The way she's talking. Yo, this is 48 Laws of Power. This is so much the 48 Laws of Power. Robert Greene somewhere is like, yo, I know he's like, damn. If you're unsure of a course of action, do not attempt it. Your doubts and hesitations will infect your execution. Timidity is dangerous. Better to enter with boldness. Any mistakes you commit through audacity are easily corrected with more audacity. Everyone admires the bold. No one honors the timid.
I told you, I'm not talking unless you have 5,000 a week from me in USD.
5,000. Why?
Because it's expensive to talk.
Why can you carry that?
Go home.
You go home?
Go home.
When?
Y'all leave. Pack up and go home.
Don't talk you?
No.
Why?
Because y'all don't have no money. Y'all don't have 5,000 in USD.
He said, can I talk
This
to you?
is a
She said,
nice
no.
hotel. She's the owner right here. Thank you. She's
I'm not the owner. Sorry, ma'am.
Go get the owner, please.
The owner is not here, ma'am.
The owner. This is the owner. Say
I'm
hello,
not the
everybody. This is the owner. Say hello. She's very shy. Don't worry about it. She's very shy.
जी
She's very shy.
रूम के लिए आई है
अरे भाई
हमारे पास नॉट रूम अवेलेबल
No, I'm not staying here.
अजीब बना रहा है भाई वो पहुंच गई है वहां पे उसने क्लेम किया उसने बोला ऐसा थोड़ी 4 महीने पहले मैं आई थी रह गई उसको
This woman right here in the blue, she's very disrespectful in the back. Y'all need to get her out of here.
सर मैं टाइप नहीं कर पा
Get a photo of her, please.
मुसलसल वीडियो
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
What are you trying to do here?
I was trying to help your hotel. Now, y'all can shut this hotel down because they cheat people and they take people money. You can pay all the workers in here $50K a piece every 2 weeks. Thank you very
अगर आप
much.
इनको होटल दे सकती हैं तो चीपा फाउंडेशन को पे करेगा आपको
I want all the workers to come to the front.
हाँ ये टिकट
क्योंकि ये सिक्योर हो जाएगी अगर यहाँ को अगर रूम दे सकते हैं
sorry, sir,
तो जो भी
यहाँ पे
पे
कोई
करना है
room
वो आपको पे
available
करेंगे
Get all the workers. They are getting $50K every week. They shutting this place down. This place is no good. It's gonna be under new management.
मिस्टर रमजान चीपा साहब ओके
I paid over a lot of money. Me and my husband, we have receipts here. I would like all the workers to have money. Can y'all get the workers, please?
रूम नॉट अलाउड
रूम है ही नहीं इनका
She's very disrespectful. I'm not coming here to stay. I'm not coming here to stay. I came here to help, but since you want to be disrespectful, I don't want nobody to put no work. I don't want nobody to do nothing in here. Let's go.
सही है मेरे बहुत
है ना जी चलो आ जाओ खलील
Yo, that woman, y'all making some good comments. She has empowered the women and the poor people there unwittingly. She's shown how weak whatever's holding the women down over there, or whatever's holding the poor people down over there, she's shown how weak it is. That it's just, it's just, the history of the country. It's just, it's a paper tiger. Pakistan is a paper tiger. This woman is going over there and prove that Pakistan is a paper tiger.
I know. Wait.
Yeah, I swear to God, that woman probably ain't never gonna want to come back. She's gonna be a fucking celebrity over there. That woman's gonna be a celebrity over there. I promise you. She's going to be a celebrity over there.
Here, please come here. Come. Please sit down.
Be quiet. I'm not sitting down. My plan is to reconstruct.
Yo, I bet you no woman over there has ever told a man to be quiet or shut up or mind their business. She's done that shit like 100 times since she's been there.
This whole country, okay? I'm asking for 100K or more. I need 20K by this week, okay? In my pockets, in cash, okay? That's a demand to the government. The government is gonna fix up these buildings, fix up the streets, and clean up these streets. It's ridiculous out here. I do not like it, okay? Lock him up. Right now. Right now, I'm going to mind my fucking business. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Clear the way. Okay.
अब तो भी मामला कितना हो गया 2-3 दिन बहुत हो गया भाई बहुत हो गया बस है बस अब बस है बस है बस
Listen, he talked too much.
Yo, they would have stoned her, yo. If she wasn't so bold and audacious, they would have stoned her already. Press 1. They would have literally dug a hole in the ground, put her in it up to her waist, and stoned her to death by now. But she got so much audacity, man. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to handle it because she too bold. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with her, man. Oh man. He says because she's American. I mean, yeah, but still, it's because shit. That being American only can get you but so far. She from New York. She not Philly. She from New York. The Great White Hope says thoughts on Project Stargate AI stuff. Worry that Sun Crime, Open Borders, DEI MAGAs employ to wheel out RoboCop, New Jersey drones, kind of tripping that now. All those things is real. They real phenomenon. DEI is an extension of affirmative action. And Open Borders is real. They really opened the border, man. Biden, that's Biden. That's not even Democrat. Open Borders is Biden. Because Democrats historically have closed the border. Biden is open borders. Black crime is like, come on, man. Has nothing to do with no conspiracy, man. That's just what it is, man. Black crime is not part of some larger conspiracy, man. Black crime is just black crime, man. Yeah, this lady's so bold that she has. Make sure y'all support the channel. Take the $7. Take the $7. Oh, they booed the U.S. national anthem at the Raptors game.
8-year-old Kyra Daniel.
Liberals are probably like, see, we need to change everything. They don't like our this is how liberals are thinking. I'm telling you, I know how liberals are thinking. Liberals are like, oh my God, they're booing our anthem. We need to kiss their ass and give them some free stuff because they're mad at us. Conservatives are like, oh yeah, y'all booing the anthem? All right, we're gonna fix your ass.
Night. They were dark. The nights, why do you think they call them nights? Because they were dark as night. They were dark. Beethoven was a black man. King James was a black man. Mozart was a black man.
I even saw that in Hollywood.
Audacity, man. Audacity, boldness. If you're going to tell a lie, tell a big lie. You heard me? If you're going to tell a lie, tell a big lie. Don't mess around with little teeny little lies. If you're going to tell a lie, tell a big lie.
The nights, why do you think they call them nights? Because they were dark as night. They were dark. Beethoven was a black man. King James was a black man. Mozart was a black man.
I even saw that in Hollywood, that how they make cowboys all white when they're actually black.
Yes, there you go. There you go. So they paint over our images like Christ, like Moses, like it's called iconoclasm. It is literally something that they did. The nights, why do you think they call them nights? Because they were dark as night.
Hey, man. Interaction with boldness. I'm showing you guys something, man. You guys not paying attention, man. That's fine. Interaction with boldness. Oh, Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras.
You were there.
Oh, Super Bowl.
Why are you there by yourself? Well, I tried to find them, and I couldn't.
on?
Oh my! Wow. Yes, we're on TV. Do you know what time it is? Seriously?
It's 5 o'clock in the morning here.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, ladies. They're from Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Brooklyn
New York.
in the house. Very
Yeah.
nice. Did y'all have a
Thank
good
you.
night?
It was awesome.
It looks like it.
I got a lot of beads, and I got a grenade. Is this called a grenade?
Yes.
Yes. What exactly is in it again?
We don't know.
Don't worry about it.
Get you where you need to go. Yeah.
Well,
You have something.
every time somebody said "Go Birds," I ate a beignet.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, seriously. Thank you, ladies. Maybe I'll see you again tonight. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. New Orleans is something, isn't it?
Apparently, I wouldn't know. I was in bed
Is that
to
right?
wake up for the show,
Look
but
how many beads I got last night.
and I won't even ask what you have to do to get those.
You know. So we're at Cafe Du Monde. If you've ever been to New Orleans, that is iconic back there.
It is.
Oh, shit. Oh. Oh. Yeah, man. So better check for his wallet, man. Keep your eyes open. Keep your wallet in your front pocket.
But this crowd continues to grow as we get into the evening hours, and we'll see what happens as we progress to the evening. Back to you guys.
Amanda, thank you. Desmond Shaw in SkyCal over that rally.
And Des, you've been watching this crowd grow for hours now.
Yes, it is definitely not looking like it's losing steam anytime soon here. Main Street over the 101 freeway, right in the heart of downtown Los Angeles. Still plenty of people out here, hundreds of them, but a massive LAPD and CHP response as well. This is kind of where we've been seeing some of the protesters kind of getting in some of the officers' faces, a little bit of minor pushback from officers, but tempers really haven't flared. There hasn't really been any kind of escalation, and unlike over the weekend, no one on the freeway today. LAPD very, very prepared for that. They have every single on and off ramp, every entrance here to the 101 freeway totally blocked so that there's no possibility of people walking out into lanes of the roadway, especially during rush hour. And just within the last couple of moments as well, there was a huge response here. This is all CHP officers, and they have the northbound 110 connector to the southbound 101 through the 4-level completely blocked. So while there's no one on the freeways, it's definitely some big traffic implications, tying up a lot of streets through downtown Los Angeles, and then the northbound 110 is going to be extra heavy as you cannot make that transition until all of this begins to die down. Live at SkyCal overhead, I'm Desmond Shaw. Send it back to you now in the studio.
This shit is unacceptable, man.
All right, thanks so much, Desmond. We'll be checking in, of course, with Des throughout the evening here on KCAL. Well, demonstrators in Santa Ana taking to the street with a shared message. People of all ages speaking out against the Trump administration's immigration policies.
We are here to show that we belong here and we are powerful. We are here for our people. We are also here for people that can't show up and that are also scared to be here.
Similar protests happened in major cities across the country.
Yeah, this is unacceptable, man. Arrest all of these people.
A day without immigrants. Supporters take over the streets of Philadelphia to stress the importance of Latinos in the community and how our economy could be impacted without them. NBC 10's Shayera Arias walked alongside them to hear what they have to say.
Today, we saw businesses closed all along 9th Street in South Philadelphia with signs like these in solidarity to the movement. Now, those who did not own a business took it to the streets to protest all the way to Center City.
We want to make sure that everyone knows that our money does make a difference.
A day without immigrants. This is how it felt all over the country, from the West Coast in California to the East Coast in our region, and even Puerto Rico. The national campaign calls on immigrants to not go to work, not attend schools, and not spend money.
Your black ass can go home too, bitch.
Go to work, not attend schools, and not spend money. And calls on immigrants to not go to work, not attend schools, and not spend money on businesses. The movement's purpose is to show how vital immigrants are to the country's economy.
If we're not buying, if we're not participating and actually working, you'll see the difference. You'll see that those offices aren't clean. Those floors are not clean. That food is not packed. Those fruits and vegetables, oh, they're going to be running low. Why? Because that is
to show how vital immigrants are to the country's economy.
If we're not buying, if we're not participating and actually working, you'll see the difference. You'll see that those offices aren't clean. Those floors are not clean. That food is not packed. Those fruits and vegetables, oh, they're going to be running low. Why? Because that is us. That is us who are bringing it to the table.
The campaign went viral on social media as a way to peacefully protest amid the recent ICE raids and operations across the country under President Trump's new administration.
I feel like it's something really dumb and something that shouldn't actually happen. But things happen, and all we could do is pray for the best.
In Philadelphia, many took to the streets to raise their voices for several hours. At a peaceful protest that began on 9th and Washington Street and ended at City Hall.
Us, the immigration population, we are part of the backbone of the economy of this country.
Others like Juan, the owner of this Peruvian restaurant, Brazas Barbecue Chicken in South Philadelphia, one of the many business owners who closed today in solidarity with the movement, says it was a difficult financial decision, but necessary to honor his family.
It gives us an opportunity to demonstrate our numbers, demonstrate what it really means to not have immigrants as part of the U.S. economy.
Now, something else that we heard from those that were protesting today is that they are pushing for no Immigrants Day on Super Bowl Sunday. Now, that is something that has not been confirmed, but they do tell us that they do plan on having.
Well, one day we really don't need immigrants is Super Bowl, man. We can do the Super Bowl without immigrants, man. I don't think there's gonna be one immigrant on that field, man. We us whites and blacks, man, we got football, man. We don't need you for that, man.
Having more protests in the near future. From South Philadelphia, Shaira Arias, NBC 10 News.
Across the country today, businesses were closed in solidarity with families who fear deportation. In LA, people marched through the streets as part of the nationwide Day Without Immigrants protest. Here in New York, businesses in Yonkers and in the Bronx shut down to prove the role immigrants play in our daily lives. Lisa Rosner was on Staten Island tonight, where one downtown area was deserted.
Port Richmond Avenue on Staten Island was a ghost town Monday night. This family taking the bus after Mariachi Taxi Company told them they were closed.
I noticed like some kids in my school, they was absent too. So we asked about my sister's school, like is it a holiday or something?
Cafe Con Pan, which serves Mexican dishes and pastries, one of the dozens of businesses closing for a day without immigrants. Co-owner Scotty Lopez says his family, originally from Mexico, closed all 3 locations.
You know, that's not an easy decision. You know, costs are high right now. You know, sometimes we have to make a sacrifice. You can feel like no one's there to support you and no one's there to help you. But if you look around.
We have parents coming in at La Colmena saying, what's going to happen if I get deported? What's going to happen to my children?
La Colmena says some businesses.
What's going to happen to your children, man? Don't worry, man. We'll send you all back together, man. We'll give you a seat on the plane right next to your children, man. Nothing to worry about, man. She kind of cute though, man. She might just stay, man. Maybe we could work out something where she could work her. She could maybe she could make herself useful, man. We might find something for you to do over here, man. If you're willing, make yourself useful. But you gotta do it good though, man. You gotta be good, man.
To my children.
La Colmena says some businesses wanted to close but could not afford it. They supported the movement in other ways.
Even though there is that fear, there is that power also that the community has.
Under the Trump administration, Immigration, Customs and Enforcement says if you are undocumented and haven't filed for asylum, you are subject to deportation. The director of the field office in Newark telling us Monday still its main mission is and always has been to identify, arrest and deport undocumented violent criminals.
We target the worst of the worst. But if we encounter others, we'll make an assessment.
Groups like La Colmena say Monday's organization to protect and support immigrants is only the beginning.
You could see that if a business is not open, that the economy here.
Ma'am, y'all should be turning in all your criminals to us, man. Every ICE station y'all should be making citizens arrest and dragging y'all criminals down to the ICE station, man. All this protesting is unacceptable. Only thing y'all need to be doing is bringing us your criminals. Saying, here, we heard you were looking for illegal criminals, man. And all this is about illegal criminals. Well, don't worry, we'll bring them to you, man. These motherfuckers protesting and tearing up shit. This is unacceptable, man.
On Staten Island, we'll have a downfall.
In the Port Richmond.
Shut up, bitch.
And News Since 6 here on the WHAS 11 night team. Support for undocumented immigrant families living in Louisville. This is the scene earlier tonight. People on Bardstown Road peacefully protesting President Donald Trump's rapid efforts to deport illegal immigrants. So far here in the Derby City, we have not seen any raids from ICE. But many family and friends of undocumented residents say the political climate is intimidating at the moment. Protesters tonight lining the street while some local businesses closed in solidarity. WHS 11 Night Team's Jose Alonso and photojournalist Emma Gefter spoke with those taking part in the A Day Without Immigrants movement.
Hawks of support in the Highlands near Douglas Loop, as Louisvillians gathered with flags and signs of endearment for the undocumented immigrants living within the city.
I know a lot of people, and that is the reason why I decided to do this, because I said, how can I support? The stories that they told me is that we're not going out. We don't go out to the store.
They don't have a lot of information of what they could actually do, and so they're just very scared.
These peaceful protesters are giving a voice to the voiceless.
If you don't go out to speak for others, everybody's going to be in a terror, and everybody's going to live in a.
She actually speaks English good for one of them. She's probably been here for 50 years. This is like good English for one of these goddamn border jumpers.
Don't go out to speak for others, everybody's going to be in a terror, and everybody's going to live in a hiding.
As support poured in from the street, there were also discouraging words. Part of President Donald Trump's campaign promise is the mass deportation of undocumented residents who committed crimes.
We're tracking down the illegal alien criminals. We're detaining them, and we are throwing them the hell out of our country. We have no apologies, and we're moving forward very fast.
But some protesters say they're not against deportation, but rather the ripple effects from it.
We understand that there is a problem at the border. The thing was criminals and things of that nature, but they're taking family members, and my concern is families.
As people exercise their right to protest on Bardstown Road, on the other side of the metro, on Preston Highway and Outer Loop, businesses that focus on Hispanic cuisine, like Panderia y Tienda Guadalajara, are closed for the day in solidarity.
The possibility of deportation is a rising concern among undocumented immigrants. Owner of El Pastorcito Taqueria, Danilo Criollo, has noticed some of his customers are missing.
The last 2 weeks, well, Sam, we got a slow in the business. It went down, about 25-30%.
As fear still looms within Louisville, the community plans to keep advocating for the silenced. Jose Alonso, WHAS 11 Night Team, on your side.
Crowd coming out today for a similar demonstration. This happened in Sonoma County.
Yo, this is every fucking where. Every city they're doing this shit, man. I thought Trump was a fucking... They showing Trump up, man. I thought Trump was deporting these motherfuckers. If they're doing this in every city, man, he's obviously not deporting them fast enough.
A region highly dependent on immigrant labor.
Yeah, man, Tom Homan, man, we got to talk Tom Homan, man. I'm not happy with the job Tom Homan is doing, man. We got to put a poll up, man. I don't know, man. Let's put a poll up, man. This is I don't know, man. I'm not happy right now, man. All right, everybody hop on that pole, man.
John Ramos spoke to protesters in Santa Rosa about the message they are hoping to send.
The immigrant community has often chosen to stay quiet to not draw attention to themselves, but that's something that's made them politically vulnerable. So on this day, they decided to make some noise.
There was nothing quiet about this gathering. Immigrant workers and their allies skipped work to come to Santa Rosa's old courthouse square in a noisy protest.
Skip work. If y'all ain't working, what good are y'all, man? If y'all not working, y'all ain't good for shit, man. That's the only thing that y'all actually bring to the table.
Over the federal government's threats of deportation.
It was pretty spontaneous, but look at the turnout. People are hungry to come out and protest. People are terrified. And today is a day where we can all come out and say, we're not going to put up with this.
The first day without immigrants was in 2017 during Donald Trump's first term in office. It was meant to demonstrate how much our economic prosperity is dependent on immigrant workers. And that is especially true here in Sonoma and Napa counties, the nation's premier winemaking region.
Without the farm workers, many of them undocumented, that industry would collapse.
But other businesses shut down in sympathy as well. Railroad Square was pretty quiet, and the Aroma Roastery Cafe stayed dark. Manager Andreas Christensen said she hoped it would cause people to pause for reflection.
And we're hoping that if somebody stops by for their cup of coffee today, they're going to think about how that might be limited just because of the new administration and the laws that are being put in place and the crackdown on our community. So, yeah, we're hoping it'll get people to think, and we just want to show our support.
Back at the rally, a group of students from Rancho Cotati High took the day off from school to join the protest.
We didn't attend school today because we know half of our school is at least Latino community, so I wanted to show that we are here standing with everybody.
Elizabeth Reyes and Brian Molina are co-presidents of the school's Mecha Club, an organization for Latino students. In Spanish, the word mecha means a wick or fuse used to start a fire.
I know a lot of my friends, they weren't really involved in movements like this, but I've convinced a lot of them to join the Mecha Club because even though we're seniors in high school, a lot of us are turning 18 or in the next year, they're going to turn 18. So I'm telling them that this is the time to stand up and be more politically aware of what's happening in this country.
During his campaign, Donald Trump lit a lot of fuses over the issue of immigration. Now it feels like the immigrant community is learning to fight fire with fire.
Right now at 6, breaking news, protesters.
It looks like the immigrant community is learning how to fight fire with fire. His ass need to be deported for saying some stupid shit like that. Okay, so they're finally detaining these motherfuckers.
And we want to get to breaking news right now. SkyCal over the protest there in downtown LA.
That's right. You can see the police officers underneath Cesar Chavez Avenue right now. Let's go upstairs now to Desmond Shaw live in SkyCal with this update. Desmond?
Yeah, Susie and Leslie, this is basically right underneath Union Station here on Cesar Chavez. You can see this tunnel. That's where a big group of the protesters have basically been corralled inside of this tunnel, and LAPD is getting ready to arrest as many as 200 people, they're saying. Obviously, really hard to see in this tunnel. We can see quite a few of them just a few moments ago, but it looks like LAPD has kind of forced them over to the sidewalks.
Okay, now when you arrest them, can ICE come down to the station and pick them up? You need to work with ICE and hand them over to ICE. If you're not handing them over to ICE, man, you're not getting any funding for your city. We're cutting funding for your fucking city, man. We're cutting federal funding for your city if you don't hand these motherfuckers over to ICE.
Inside of that tunnel, you can see a couple of them right underneath in this area. So, you know, for hours, this has been an unlawful assembly, and they still kind of just, you know, were allowing people to go parade around downtown. We saw a lot of protesters on the freeway earlier as well. Well, this group right now is getting ready to be arrested, and there's another group in downtown off of Main and Temple they're talking about trying to just basically end that situation there as well. So just in a couple of moments, we're expecting to see LAPD moving in with zip ties and processing people. And yes, they will be arrested after several hours of this being an unlawful assembly. Leslie and Susie, back to you.
Rallying for immigrant rights. Tonight, protesters have taken over streets in downtown LA, and KCAL's Jeff Nguyen is live where protesters have been rounded up inside a tunnel, Jeff.
Yeah, that's right. So this is Cesar Chavez, the 200 block of Cesar Chavez. For those of us who grew up in Southern California, especially in Los Angeles, this is the old Brooklyn Street. So this is the tunnel as Ben Priestley walks right behind us. You can see a number of Metropolitan Police officers right here in your foreground. And then in the background, up against the wall, there are up to about 200 people that are being detained right now. I just spoke to one of the sergeants from the Hollywood Division, and he tells me that a number of these protesters who were basically running around downtown earlier, they ultimately ran into the tunnel. When they did that, Metropolitan Division basically surrounded them on both sides of the tunnel, and that's why they are basically sitting on the ground right now. A number of the supervisors out here tell us that these people are going to be arrested. Now, that could mean a combination of things. Some people will be cited and released. However, other people might be taken to jail tonight, depending upon what is alleged against them. But you can see right now, certainly a lot of noise in here, and there are just dozens and dozens of LAPD officers with their riot gear on while they get ready to process all of these folks that have been detained. Let's go ahead and do this because we want to show you exactly how dangerous this night has become. Take a look at this video. This is video that we shot earlier. Take a look how dangerous it is of a convertible Mustang doing donuts. Two people are in the back seat recording on their phone when the rear left wheel smacks right into the curb. Now, the force of that is sending one of the passengers' phones flying through the air. We had a sense that something bad was going to happen because moments earlier, that same driver was whipping donuts right in front of the path of a moving Metro bus, narrowly missing the bus as it drove through the intersection. And after that, after the Mustang crashed, a mob of young people surrounded it, and a young woman was holding onto the side of the convertible when the driver stepped on the gas, and that young woman went face first into the pavement. And then there was this video. This man was waving a flag at the middle of the intersection when a motorcycle hits him, and the man goes down very hard. Earlier, we saw the LAPD declaring an unlawful assembly, which meant officers could move in and arrest.
Okay, so great. This is what we get if you stay. Thanks for showing us what we get if you stay. This is awesome. We really didn't know what we got out of the deal if we kept you around. But thanks for showing us what we get out of the deal if we keep you around. This is awesome. Everybody take the $7 challenge via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. Support the channel. Take the $7 challenge via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. Support the channel. Mm. Mm. Mm.
People if they did not leave. They kept demonstrators off the 101 freeway by deploying officers to the on and off ramps. And at around 7:30 this evening, most of the people near the freeway had dispersed, but then hundreds of them shifted to the corner of Main and Temple, where you saw all of that dangerous behavior right outside of LA City Hall. Now, the backstory on this, as you know, since taking office on January 20th, President Trump has acted on his campaign promise to increase deportations. The administration has been promising to expel people from the country who are here illegally, particularly those charged or convicted of crimes. And last month, the New York Times and Ipsos did a poll that found about 55% of Americans surveyed support the president's deportation plans. We asked a number of demonstrators tonight about that poll and why they came out to protest.
Not only is it me, I have a kid as well. And I wouldn't want my kid to be targeted and to be separated from me.
Oh shit!
Hey.
She made copies, man. What's up?
If the New York Times is saying it's 55%, you know it's way more
Yeah.
than that. It's probably
That's
80.
That's true. Very true. This woman's making fucking copies. She's fucking printing fucking on burritos and shit.
Even though he's a U.S. citizen. So that is a big thing, because in my neighborhood, even in these streets, I am being targeted just because of the way I look, just because of the language that I speak.
Well, my parents are immigrants, you know, and
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
always grew up fearing that, you know, one day I was going to come home to school and they were just not going to be there anymore. And so I just feel like it's important, you know, to be out here.
It shows me that the majority of people understand what President Trump's plan is all about. We understand the difference between legal and illegal immigration, and we understand that his plan to start with felonious criminal aliens, that people who cause DUIs and accidents and do other crimes, they're the first to go.
So back here live on Cesar Chavez, where you can see hundreds of people have been detained inside this tunnel.
And why is that street named Cesar Chavez, man? This ain't fucking Mexico. Rename that fucking street, man. And all turn all these people over to ICE. The fuck is going on? I thought we were getting rid of these people. They're protesting in every city while we're allegedly deported in the deportation phase.
I mean, the city's called Los Angeles, so they're kind of screwed from the
Change
beginning.
the name to changing it the Angels. Change the name of the city. Fuck it. This ain't fucking Mexico. We changing the name of Los Angeles too. Get these people the fuck out of here, man. No, they're protesting in every city, causing a ruckus. I thought this is insane. They're like, if Tom Holman, where's Tom Holman?
You can't really blame. It's the fucking LAPD. They're just there watching. Literally, as you can see there.
Not a single reporter has asked why they need to ask them why they are flying these Mexican flags. If you're so concerned with being American and staying in America, why the fuck are you repping other countries?
I can't stand that shit, yo. That should be illegal right there. Like, hell no.
Hey, do you know who Cesar Chavez is? I just figured he was some famous Mexican guy.
I thought that was some fucking boxer, man. Julio Cesar Chavez, man.
There is him, and
It might be a common name.
Nah, there's another guy. He was a farm worker in California, and guess what? He hated illegal immigrants too, because he says illegal immigrants, took away jobs from legal immigrants who worked in the fields.
He was a
Ironic.
patriot.
He was Mexican, a legal immigrant, and he hated illegal immigrants. But they
Yeah,
named it Cesar Chavez. But what they don't know is that if he was alive today, he would hate all these people.
yeah, man. Get these motherfuckers the fuck out of here. This is unacceptable.
Look at what they start doing. They immediately start doing donuts.
That's so
Right.
dangerous, yo.
Dangerous
Day
shit.
one. Yeah. So you're not helping your case at all.
At all, yo. That shit gets people killed. I can't stand people who do that shit.
Yeah, watching that is just a trip. Like people are just chilling, watching these guys do circles. Like you could die at any
Oh
moment.
yeah, yeah. You better be careful because they could lose control. I've seen it go bad.
This is unacceptable, man. Where is Tom Homan, man? Because they're doing this in every city, man. So it's not like it's just Los Angeles. It's every fucking city, man.
Businesses across the U.S., including in Indiana, closed today due to a nationwide initiative aimed at demonstrating the fundamental role immigrants play in the U.S. economy. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shelley Kirk.
I'm Brandon Bartlett. The movement is called A Day Without Immigrants. It encouraged people to not take their children to school, shop, or go out to eat.
Eyewitness News' Ann Powell spoke with a restaurant that closed in solidarity.
As hundreds of people continue to protest President Donald Trump's immigration crackdown, restaurants begin to take a stand.
We're here for the American dream. They don't say like American dream now. It's more like an American nightmare.
One tri-state family who owns restaurants in Evansville and Henderson shut one location down today as part of a day without immigrants. They want to remain anonymous. They fear being targeted by the Trump administration. They say they closed to highlight immigrants' role in the national and local economy.
Everybody works in restaurants, construction. So that's something, without them, there's a lot of things that we can't do.
According to the American Immigration Council, about 6.2% of Indiana's residents were born outside of the country in 2022, and immigrants made up 7.9% of the state's labor force.
This is an example of what one day would be without having a staffed kitchen, without maybe getting fresh produce, having people to work farms, having people to work in different factories. And, it's not just about the undocumented, it's all immigrants.
Michael Angelo, born in the U.S., is part Cuban
No,
and
it's
has lived
not.
in Evansville.
Yeah, you're gonna have to elaborate on that, dude.
Yeah, what the
You
fuck is he
you
talking
can't say
about?
that.
Argument.
Fucking retarded.
Yeah, yeah, fucking moron, man. This is insane, man. This right here. All these people should be rounded over, turned over to ICE, man. Checked for citizenship, man. Are you?
Some businesses across the country are closing for one day to show the impact of immigrant labor on the U.S. economy.
The social media campaign calls on immigrants to stay home from work and from school today, and also to avoid shopping. It's all part of a protest against mass deportation efforts from the Trump administration.
CBS 8's Alex Cheney joins us live from Cocina de Barrio in North Park. Alex, so it was closed today in solidarity with the Day Without Immigrants, but it was vandalized also.
Yeah, that's Anna and Steve. This is just a terrible thing to do to this business. The front window is still absolutely boarded up right now as somebody vandalized this window overnight. And so now they have to board it up. This place was already closed in support of a day without.
Right, yeah. See, look, man. They're vandalizing our stuff, man. Feel sorry for us, man. They probably did that shit. This is the same thing the blacks do and shit. Like they do the hate crime and then fucking try to blame it on, like, get sympathy for it by blaming it on white people.
without immigrants. They posted that on the front of the business here. This is all while amid ongoing protests through the weekend against anti-immigration policies. Flags, horns, and drums filled the sidewalk near the San Ysidro point of entry today for the nationwide Day Without Immigrants movement. One demonstrator says she remembers protesting as a child over anti-immigration laws and is frustrated.
I just wanted to point out that the language that they use, anytime they say immigration or immigrants, it's implied that that means illegal and legal immigrants or immigration. So, like, you're just fucked. Like, the news is fucked.
Yeah. Immigrants. These motherfuckers are goddamn criminals.
They're invaders. They're not
Frustrated to be
immigrants.
protesting the same thing now.
I'm so proud the fact that generation from generations are here protesting, because when I was in high school back in 2006, we all walked out. And now, 19 years later, we're still fighting the same fight. Like, till the day I die, I'm going to be protesting out here with everybody.
One woman holding a pro-immigration sign says she wants others to have the same chance to come to America in pursuit of a better life, like her family did.
My family is from Mexican descendants too. My parents came over here to give me a better lifestyle, and I don't agree with the border, so I'm here to fight for what's.
So,
why is the lifestyle better?
You can't agree with the border. It's just the fucking border.
For real. Go say that shit in China, bitch.
But if you don't have a border, you don't have a country. And if you don't have a country, we shouldn't have to listen to the federal government in any capacity, because they're null and void. They're not governing anything.
She wants to come here for a better life. Her parents brought her here for a better life. So, and that's something a lot of us say. Come to America for a better life. So life sucks in your country, but you're waving the flag of the country your life sucks in.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have to explain that, and they won't. They won't even ask the question.
No, they just get angry and say racist.
Fucking Idaho.
After a Sunday night protest, hundreds of immigrants stayed home from work and school on Monday, calling it a day without immigrants. I'm your Twin Falls neighborhood reporter, Lorian Nettleton, learning how the Hispanic community in the Magic Valley is coming together to support immigrant rights.
They want to be heard. They want to be understood. We're not criminals.
A Sunday evening demonstration.
This is fucking Idaho. This is ridiculous, man.
Well, I mean, these people have been bussed all over the place by Jewish groups and Catholic groups and dumped off.
Holding signs.
Yeah, the Catholics,
What we're doing last night
church
is just
deep in
letting
it.
people know we're here to help the nation. We're not here to, make it worse. We're here to build it up.
Maria Bravo told me why she joined the demonstration, to voice concern for immigration crackdowns and deportations.
Yes, I do live with that constant fear, or even myself, just because I have my brown skin. I am a United States citizen, but
yeah, that's what it's about. It's about your brown skin.
Shut
She's
the
a
fuck
citizen.
up, lady.
She's got nothing to complain about.
Exactly. Shut the fuck up, lady. Don't even pour that bullshit.
I don't, we just want. Did you hear Trump say we're getting rid of everybody with brown skin? I know, right? You heard that shit.
It's amazing all these different demographics' ability to adapt to the woke narrative for their little causes. And yet gliders still can't figure out how to use the language in their favor.
They're becoming us. They're becoming blacks. These motherfuckers are becoming black people and shit. Like right before our eyes and shit. They're like,
they're just running the same script.
Same grip.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes.
It's because of my brown skin. Bitch, have you been paying attention? It's because you fucking broke into the country, or?
most people don't know that. And my greatest fear is, will I be the one to be pulled over next and be asked?
A member of Jerome's Hispanic Catholic community, Bravo told me so many of her friends and acquaintances were in constant anxiety about
They
their
act like the only plausible reason an hombrito can get pulled over is because some fucking racist cop is like trying to find out if they have brown skin. That's so fucking, that's such gaslighting. Like y'all like lead the fucking nation in like every fucking traffic offense out there, man. What the fuck is she talking about?
And be asked.
A member of Jerome's Hispanic Catholic community, Bravo told me so many of her friends and acquaintances were in constant anxiety about their family's safety.
There's a lot of families that are being broken apart, and there's a lot of sad kids.
February 3rd was declared a day without immigrants when folks made a show of staying home, not going to school or work, and not going shopping.
This is ridiculous, man. Yeah, this is making me mad, man. This is making me mad.
See, like if we had decent reporters, she could easily spin that and be like, okay, well, as American citizens, it's making us very uncomfortable when you show up here and you're waving your flags of your different nationalities and you seem to have no desire to represent the United States in any way. Do you have any comment on that?
Oh, Fisherman, they would be like, I don't like the way that you're talking to me.
Yeah,
I don't like how you're talking to me, and I think you're being a racist right now, and I think that it's my skin color that is making you act out that way. These people, man, yeah, it's like not even fight or flight.
Your shit is breaking up, dude. You're like, your shit is like, I don't know what the fuck. Are you in a canyon or something, man?
I just wonder who's paying for all these protests, because for this to be so organized.
Alex Soros, man.
Shady billionaires.
Are you, everybody feel okay? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
If you want to cultivate the land in South Africa, say these farmers, this is the sort of training you need. A 2-week tactical survival course run by a former member of the Israeli Special Forces. Idan Abolnik is teaching this group how to ward off or neutralize the enemy, a self-described practical guide to staying alive.
They're here
in an alleyway.
They want to defend their life, to feel more secure for the family and for them.
And his pupils claim plenty of real-world experience.
I've been attacked myself, and these attackers were trained very well. So I got shot in my face, and you can see the marks there. And I got stabbed 9 times by a knife, but I survived it.
It's personal accounts like these that fuel the sense of fear.
Fight!
And people like Marley Swanepoel think they're being targeted because they're white.
Good.
It's pretty intense, isn't it?
This is not intense. What's happening in our country?
Everyone near me, come here.
And I get very emotional about it.
What is happening in South Africa?
Our people are getting murdered, tortured. Our old people who can't defend themselves are being burned with cooking oil. The numbers just rising by the day. It's rising, but I mean, you are always worried that you will be the next.
Crime stalks the lives of all South Africans, but farmers feel particularly vulnerable. 74 were killed last year, according to official statistics, although many think the true picture is worse.
Those farm attacks are brutal, and usually they don't steal anything. So there's something, we don't know what it is, but they are just getting murdered, and then they leave.
But blacks are also victims of brutal crimes. 2 white farmers tried to seal this 20-year-old into a coffin. The farmers were convicted of
a scare
attempted
tactic.
murder last year.
crime happens to everyone. It's criminality that is happening in the farms, and we have always condemned it. But this crime does not only happen to white farmers, it also happens to black farm workers.
The
By
case
other
hit a
blacks.
fuse and drew large protests at court. White farmers own vast tracts of land in South Africa and receive little sympathy.
That's
The
what
white
it's
people's
about.
culture of life in this.
That's what it's about. The white farmers have the land,
Yeah,
and
because
the
they
blacks.
know how to farm.
Yeah, exactly. But the blacks still, even though they wouldn't, even though they would let it go into disrepair and the fields would fucking be weeds and shit in the year, they still, that's still the problem. They want the land. They still wanted to turn it into a fucking desert.
White farmers own vast tracts of land in South Africa and receive little sympathy.
The white people's culture of life in this country is at its highest. They live a first world lifestyle in a third world country, and the majority of the population lives a third world lifestyle in a third world country. So, and that majority is the blacks.
So the ruling ANC is taking drastic action. They've adopted a new policy called land expropriation without compensation. A decision that deeply worries people like Philip Potgieter. He's a fourth-generation farmer in the hills of Limpopo.
It's worrying because promises are being made to the masses, and you don't want to make promises to the masses and not deliver. So currently, it's a boiling pot. We grew year by year.
Mr. Potgieter took us for a tour of his avocado and nut farm. It's a profitable business, employing hundreds of local people, and he's not prepared to hand it over.
It's in our blood, our ancestors, our fathers, grandfathers. This is what we were born to do. I mean, where do I go? I can't just pack up here and leave everything we've done here.
This farm is already subject to 4 claims filed by community groups who say the land originally belonged to them. And the official overseeing the process says Mr. Potgieter will have to come to the table.
What do you say to a guy who owns land that's been in the family for 4 or 5 generations?
There's nothing we can do, but we can put you through the process together with the community until we find a way out of this.
Said a bunch of nothing.
For real.
Yeah, South Africa's fucked. It's totally fucked. It's only gotten worse and worse and worse.
I found it interesting that when he was talking about promises, he didn't explicitly say that, oh yeah, they're promising to kill all the white people. Like, was he not allowed to say that, or did they cut it? It's crazy.
Well, we're gonna get into all that, man. Please support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. Take the $7 challenge. No one else can bring you this type of story, man, here on this sector of YouTube, man. Nowhere else can you talk about this on YouTube, man. On have a conversation about this on this sector of YouTube, man. Please take the $7 challenge, man, to support the show. This guy right here. What's
real
up?
quick, you know what will be pretty awesome? If we can get some umbritos to protest about the umbritos that don't belong here and get them to go back.
There's a lot of them. Myself included.
Sellouts.
They're probably telling the authorities what they know.
Yeah.
We're probably calling them sellouts, man. They probably gonna come up with a new word for like a Latino Uncle Tom or something, man.
Oh yeah, I get that all the time. I get that all the time because they tell me you're Hispanic, so why do you support Trump? I'm like, well, first off, I'm American. Second, I don't agree with these people being here. We don't know.
You breaking up, man?
Oh, I just said that I don't know. We don't know who the fuck they are, so I don't agree with them being here. And I'm American, first off. So. But yeah, they call you traitor and stuff like that. If you're a burrito and you're against illegals and all that, they'll call you that. Just like Uncle Tom and all that. So yeah, you're right. They're gonna make up a word one day for guys like me.
This happened before in another African country.
Tio Thomas. They gonna call you Tio
Yeah, some
Thomas.
shit. Tio Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this happened before in another country in Africa, man, where it was mad that the white people had all the land.
A century ago, Cecil Rhodes's pioneer column marched north into the cool and fertile valleys of Mashonaland. The colony that bore his name was founded on a wholesale land grab by British settlers. It went on for more than 50 years, and the independent nation of Zimbabwe is still wrestling with its consequences. Like millions of other Zimbabweans, Ephraim Nyakajura and his family just scratch a living on an overcrowded plateau. The soil is thin and sandy here, but Ephraim remembers the valley where he grew up. Rich land, well watered with space to spare, and the day in 1944 when British soldiers came to take it.
I was very, very unhappy. In my heart, I felt it was the end of the world. I was born on that land, and where I was sent, I felt like a slave or a foreigner from another country. We didn't even know where we were going. So that's how we felt. We really suffered.
It's harvest time at Sarui Source Farm on the rich black soil of Norton, west of Harare. Tobacco is the farm's most important cash crop and Zimbabwe's biggest export earner. It pays the wages of 75 permanent farm workers and their families and provides a handsome living for Jim Sinclair and his two sons.
We're going to spray for that?
Yeah.
That's
Frog Eye.
That's
Frog Eye spot.
So we've got to do something about that.
Between them, Jim and the boys own 2 farms and lease a third.
Yeah. Okay, Dave. Well, we'll see you.
Okay.
You come back for lunch?
Yeah, I'll see you later.
Bye.
They're good farmers and they're proud of it.
We're probably spending, in terms of turnover, we're probably pumping $8 million every year, and other chemicals, capital equipment, that sort of thing.
As well as tobacco, there are maize and hay crops and 1,000 head of cattle fattening in Sarui Source's lush pastures. It's a good life, but Jim Sinclair feels that he and his family have earned it. His father-in-law bought the land from another white settler in 1933.
Okay, Jonathan, I thought you might be interested in a couple of things we've got in here.
I can see why how like people would be like jealous of this shit. I mean, I can see that, man. These 2 fucking goddamn ogre-looking white dudes are rich and shit, and every black person I know is fucking like scratching for food. I could understand how that would piss people off. I could understand.
I mean, that's how it always ends up.
Yeah.
That's why it was stupid to go there in the first place.
Yeah, you're not gonna win in this scenario ever. It's always gonna end up boiling over.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just it's eventually like look at this motherfucker. Like this just shows you how IQ is, man. IQ is like these 2 fucking oafy looking motherfuckers got so much like smarter than the blacks there that they can like just have all the land and make all the money.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, 1,000 head of cattle is a fucking big operation.
It's just IQ,
yeah.
man. It's just IQ.
See, but
like that's all.
Their final mistake was thinking that they could negotiate. with these people. Like they could
Yeah.
come to an understanding that, you know, we'll teach you this or we'll give you that.
You
Never gonna
can't
work.
negotiate with jealousy. It doesn't
Wow,
work.
that's true.
Yeah, he now sends out letters like this. So,
The letter came at the end of November. It gives notice that Sarui Source Farm has been designated for compulsory acquisition by the government.
As they come riding in on
Mugabe is no
European
longer prime
motorcycles.
minister. He's the all-powerful president of what is in fact, if not in name, a one-party state. The decision to acquire 1/3 of Zimbabwe's most productive farms was made without consultation with the farmers or with the international donors who the president expects to pay for it. According to Zimbabwean law, the farmers are entitled to full compensation. But even Robert Mugabe admits that without foreign aid, the money to buy the land just isn't there. If necessary, he said, he'll take it anyway, and the British can pay the bills.
We couldn't accept perpetual occupation of most of our fertile land by others and not by ourselves. That we objected to, and the British should know that. This is Zimbabwe. It cannot be an extension of Britain.
The implication that the white farmers are not Zimbabweans, but others, goes down well with the ruling party elite. It's not so welcome to Jim Sinclair.
well, I don't know what he means by others. If he means I'm others, then I'd be interested to know what I am. I'm a Zimbabwean, born and bred. I was born here, lived here all my life, made a commitment to this country. How can you actually say to somebody, I'm going to buy your farm by law? The law says I've got to pay for it, but I haven't got any money, so actually I'm not going to pay for it. Now, have we got a government that's above its own law?
Well, you know, constitutions can be amended anytime by parliament. The law can be...
Constitutions can be amended at any time by parliament.
Yeah, like paperwork doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. The only thing that matters is violence.
Yep.
Yeah, to negate property rights and create fucking communism.
Also, we have to be logically consistent and tell this glider he's not a Zimbabwean, even though he was born there.
Right. He's
It's
not
the
a
same.
Zimbabwe in the same way, like...
Well, he's a Rhodesian.
Yeah, true, but still, you know what I mean. He's not an African, even though
No,
he's been there for generations. It's just not how the world works. Also, the funny thing is, these Africans, when they move to Britain, they claim to be British, just like the ethnic Britons.
Yeah, because they're
so
better at like extorting you guys with more. They extort you with like your morality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's nothing in their morality to extort them with. Like, how you gonna extort them? Morally extort these people? They don't have it in their they don't even have the power or the morality to be extorted that way.
Compassion to them is something to be weaponized. It's just a means to get to what they want.
Yeah, they're shrewd in that way. But salute to Doug G, man. Doug G says, "Hi, here on Brito, get the majority of DUIs issued here." Yeah, that's true, man. Speaking about those Britos in America, yep, they are the majority of the DUIs.
Be changed anytime by parliamentarians. The principle of acquiring land is the overriding principle. We want to follow the law, but whose law is it? It is ours.
Well, some white farmers have said that if you do take the land without compensation, that amounts to just state-sanctioned robbery.
Well, that's exactly what they did themselves. When they do it, the question of human rights is not raised. When we do it, the question of human rights is raised.
He's a sharp one. Gotta give him that.
Bordering Jim Sinclair's land at Norton is the communal area of Mondoro, home to around 70,000 people and half as many cows. Before the white men came, there were perhaps 1 million people in what is now Zimbabwe. Now there are 12 million, and the numbers keep growing.
White man inadvertently makes 12 times as many sons with his medicine and his fucking order. His order, like one thing
his
that
food.
yeah, but one thing too, like Africans would massacre each other routinely, right? With the order that the white man brings, you know what I'm saying? The law, the rule of law, which kind of like, prevents many of those massacres, like, because the law takes care of many disputes. Many small disputes would end in just like tribes being massacred. But if you have a law where, like, okay, take it up to the court and we'll deal with it, and then we'll issue the penalty. You don't have as many of those disputes turning into massacres. So yeah, like yes, so you got 12 million blacks there now, where you would normally you probably still have a million. You would probably still have a million if it was, or less if it was left to them, if they were left alone.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
I believe colonization gave massive population growth.
Yeah. The birth rate, like the babies being born in hospitals instead of in on the fucking jungle and shit.
True.
Fucking like the malaria, like the fucking flies and shit over there, fucking killer flies and shit, killer fucking mosquitoes.
Yep.
The fucking medicine for the killer mosquitoes.
Ivermectin did a lot of good in Africa. That's
Uh-huh.
funny
Yeah,
how that is.
exactly, man. They got
And the
flies over there
mosquito
that'll kill
tents.
your ass.
The mosquito tents too saved a lot of people.
Yeah. Just telling them to fucking fill the puddles with dirt. They didn't know that. They didn't know to fill all the puddles with dirt so that the mosquitoes wouldn't have anywhere to grow. Just that, telling them that saved fucking probably 500,000 of them.
True too.
The,
Yeah.
You
or
know,
just the fact
boiling
that
their
they didn't,
water, telling them how to boil their water and shit and shit like that. And,
Or just
Yeah.
dig a few feet into the ground and have some fresh water.
yeah, exactly. The water's right there under your feet. Yeah, you don't have to
Yep.
march to the lake and fucking go through another tribe's area and fucking piss them off, and then they come kill all of you all. Like, just dig a hole and the water's there. But yeah, make sure you don't dig it near your latrine. And make sure you make the latrine far out away from the fucking village so it doesn't pollute the groundwater. All these little things, man, that they told Africans, not even the big things. The little shit made help multiply them.
Basic
Yo, but
stuff.
well,
I gotta ask. So this is all common sense stuff you're saying. Like, do they not have common sense? Cause, or what
well,
is it? Cause
cool cat, like
like,
mosquito net, for example. That's common sense. You use a net to go catch fish. I'm sure well, I don't know now, but you think they would have
no,
come
I'm
up with a
saying
mosquito net.
Yeah, but the mosquito net is really hard to make.
Yeah, it
no,
is.
no. But I'm saying stuff like digging for water or not like not
Well, they
having
survived
your
without it, though. Here's the thing, though. They
uh
survived without knowing that the water was right there. They survived. Like, as long as they're surviving, they're fine. They're not like trying to
oh
like build like advanced societies. These
oh
these people are
okay
programmed to just survive.
Subsistence.
Yeah,
yeah
they're not like trying to like create like build aqueducts and dams and shit. They're like just trying to like, as long as they're living, that's that's good for them. Like, think about it. Even in like metropolises, they live on they find the baseline of life. You know what I mean? They find it wherever the margin of life is, they're gonna seek it out and find it.
okay
The poverty level. They're gonna live right at the poverty level.
Yeah, because and that's fine for them too. Like, I mean, they're not like, they're only put out by it in Western societies where there's more, or there's there's like competition, and there's
Ambition.
there's something else to look at. There's a comparison.
Yeah,
It's
there's
like
people walking around with nice stuff and all this whatever, and they don't look like you and they don't sound like you, and it just drives that inner desire to take it.
yeah. Salute the boy Kachina, man. Boy Kachina been going crazy with the donations lately. Shout out to Boy Kachina, man. He
Salute.
says, coming to America, Eddie Murphy movie and U.S. aid flights. Mugabe style empathy. Cheers to the nation of Ak and Ak. Yeah, these people, so much aid, like that aid that they cut off, that Trump cut off. These people are gonna be fine. Because all that was happening was the leader or the president, the dictator, was taking it and funneling it over to Swiss bank accounts. The people weren't getting that aid anyway. Almost every African leader steals all of the aid.
Once again, niggas stealing from niggas, niggas scamming from niggas.
Yeah.
The entire humanitarian aid to
Tendai
Africa deal is
Masiwa
a
has 7
racket.
cows of his own and 4 children. He's one of 12 children himself.
Damn.
His father Langton was allocated his fields 40 years ago. Now they've been subdivided between his 6 sons. After decades of use, Tendai's little maize field is not much more fertile than a sandpit. By this time of year on good soil, the corn stalks will be standing taller than a man.
Since my grandfather, they started using this soil. Otherwise, it's 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
And can't you move somewhere else to find?
There's nothing I can go. There's grandmother's field, and this one is my mother's field. So there's nothing I can go. It's only this area.
That's why you rotate.
As far as Tendai's concerned,
that's why you rotate. You use half of the field one year, and then you use the other half the next
You
year.
have cover crops.
You gotta give
the nitrogen.
Also, we've been using plows for literally thousands of years, and they still haven't discovered the plow yet. It blows my mind.
Yeah, you gotta give the ground a break too.
Yeah.
And they have the animals there. The beasts of burden are all around. You think they would have tried to use them?
Exactly.
They don't even eat the beast. They like slit the neck and suck blood out of it and shit.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that? That's how they drink. They drink cow blood. You didn't know that?
No, wait, but they don't eat the cow like.
Well, a lot of the African tribes, like I know in Kenya, they're vegetarians, but they herd cows.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
the cow is too valuable to eat. You can't eat the cow. You just tap it from time to time for some blood and mix it with raw milk. But they don't eat it until it dies of old age.
That is savage.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense.
Milk and blood, because they drink blood over. They drink cow blood. They cut the jugular. They put a small hole in the jugular and drink from it.
Oh.
Which is delicious, by the way. You should try it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really good. Blood is super sweet, especially if you mix it with milk. It's really good stuff.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm Gucci though. Thank you.
the answer's simple.
Yeah, but you're gonna put
Government
some
should let
tricks in
him
that.
move his family onto the white-owned farms next door. In fact, he's fully expecting to do just that before the next planting season starts in August. After all, as his father Langton says, land was what the War of Independence was all about.
All riches come from the soil. They wanted soil. That was the first question.
And they still want soil.
They still want it.
And they still haven't got it.
They still haven't got it.
Okay.
Since independence.
So if there are all kinds of problems and delays and you don't get that land by August, what do you think people here are going to do?
If it is that, otherwise we can organize it. We young generation and go to those farmers and starting squattering there.
Like most Chona peasants, Tendai Masiwa is a loyal member of Robert Mugabe's ZANU-PF party. Such a public threat must have had the party's tacit approval, and certainly it strengthens the government's hand.
Either the government does it, or else the peasants will do it. And when they do it on their own, having taken the law into their hands, anything could happen. It could create a lot of violence.
I mean, surely they're right when they say that it is not politically acceptable to continue to have 4,500 mostly white commercial farmers owning more than 50% of Zimbabwe when you've got 9 million or 12 million on the poverty line.
To start with, yes, sure, there's injustice. I don't deny that. There's also, and that's why I support the need for a properly structured, organized, funded land resettlement and reform program, agrarian reform. Nobody's opposed to that. It's in the interest of the country.
You already lost.
The problem, as Jim Sinclair sees it, is that the current
They
program
don't do
is
reform.
anything but structured, organized, and funded.
You see, the problem that we have is that this government's treating this issue as a political issue. It's not a political issue. We're talking about economics, exports, feeding people, employing people, and this piggery is a good example.
Because he owns the land, Sinclair has been able to borrow funds to finance improvements like his piggery. But the peasants won't have private title, so the banks won't lend them money. The World Bank, the IMF, and major donors like the European Union are just as concerned as Jim Sinclair. They're worried that the crash redistribution scheme will lead to a dramatic decline in food production and the loss of vital export income.
Well, unfortunately, we have a country to run, and we have to run it. If we are faced with a problem, we are not going to sit and not solve the problem just because the international community may not understand us.
There's another group of people who don't understand. The 120,000 people who are employed on the threatened farms. The displaced Shona were reluctant to work on their own land for the white man's wages. So most of Zimbabwe's farm laborers came from Malawi and Mozambique 30 or 40 years ago. They're far from well paid, but Jim Sinclair's workers have a house, a maize plot, a living wage, and nowhere else to go. Now these days, even young, well-educated Zimbabweans like Gift, the foreman of the piggery, have been forced to leave the towns and find work on the commercial farms. Has anybody come and told you what's going to happen to you?
No, no so far. The government is just silent so far.
So if this goes ahead, you lose your house.
Certainly I'm going to.
You lose your income.
Yes.
What would happen to you if you went to Harare?
Well, I'm going to struggle then. That's what it means.
If the farm workers are forced to join the job queues, life in the bleak suburbs of Harare will get even tougher than it already is. More than half Zimbabwe's citizens have no work. And with interest rates at 35%, there are few investors rushing to create new ones. Inflation is over 20%. The Zimbabwe dollar has crashed, and living standards have plummeted. It's in the cities and not on the land that the real time bombs are ticking. There's already been one explosion. For 3 days in January, rioters stormed through Harare and its suburbs, looting and burning. The police lost control of the streets and shopping malls. The riots were set off by huge tax hikes and a jump in the price of basic staples like maize meal and cooking oil. In the streets, they pinned the blame squarely on a corrupt and incompetent government.
We want a new government.
For the first time since independence, Robert Mugabe was forced to send the army into his own Shona heartland. but he hasn't accepted the blame for the price rises. Instead, his government has tried to play the race card again.
We have 4 big millers in this country. They increase their prices one day with the same percentage. And as you know, our economy is owned about 95% by the white community in this country or by foreign company owners. So when we talk of the white community, that's precisely what we mean.
So it is, in a sense, a white conspiracy.
The white farmers and some of the white producers or businessmen will be very happy that we are in a fix.
On the Sunday after the riots in the beer halls of the black suburbs, we found the government's attempt to blame the whites got short shrift.
It was not even an opposition party. It was not the white people who caused that, whoever is known. It's just it's only we people who thought of that. We wanted to show the government that we dislike that what they did.
We can't say it's a word, man, because things can go up, and just like you have your own company, and then the government says, okay, we raise the taxes. How much you pay for the company? For you to get that money, it means you have to raise your things as well. So we cannot say we blame the government for that.
City people realize that without the approval and investment of the rich white world, they're doomed to a life of joblessness and poverty. But out in the rural areas where ZANU still has a powerful hold, it's land that's always been the linchpin.
The Holy Spirit.
They've been patient here a long time, but times are hard, and a desperate government is looking for a scapegoat.
Look at that.
No, that looks great. I think that's super. Well done. Right.
Anne and James Sinclair are not racists. Mr. Mugabe says you should
Just
all
gotta
go home.
get that out of the way.
That's the problem. They should
Who
be.
fucking
They have
cares?
every reason.
They just straight up change. It's just a completely different energy to both groups of people. Like they just have different energies. Like the white people are white people. No matter what, they're very calm. Like no matter what their socioeconomic status is, they're usually calmer and more centered than black people. And black people are more outwardly. You know what I'm saying? We show more of
Emotion.
outwardly.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the ability to look ahead and plan ahead, it gives you a sense of inner peace, right? So it calms you down a lot. If you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, you're in this world of chaos and you have no certainty. It makes you angry, and you're angry at the world because you don't understand it. It's as simple as that, I think.
Salute to Deluxe 247, aka Cal Ripken, aka the real MVP, coming through once again.
So what would you call that then? An IQ problem or something else?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about that. That can't be fixed.
It's IQ and it's also hormones, because some people compared to whites, they have between 27 to 39% more estrogen. And if you have high estrogen levels, you're just angry and unpredictable, like a woman, basically.
And then if you add in no father and only a single crazy mother, Jesus.
No discipline and high hormones, it's just a recipe for disaster. But it works in Africa because the land is so fertile, you need this self-regulation, this violence because otherwise it would just overpopulate. I mean, from an evolutionary standpoint, I guess.
That's why you gotta get you some $40 Cash App hoes.
Farming is not a glamorous field in South Africa. Many young people opt for office jobs. This is despite the fact that government has lucrative incentives for young people to take up farming. But over the past few years, more and more young people are venturing into this territory. Dimakazo Nono Sekgoto is one such young South African. She left a high-paying job 5 years ago and moved to manage her father's 2,000-acre farm 3 hours away from the country's economic hub, Gauteng.
It's more than the farm. So the first 2 to 3 years, I obviously sat on the farm to learn more and understand, what farming is about and how I work. And I was obviously doing most of the finances, so which allows me to learn all the units. But what I thought was even more interesting was when I started exploring the rest of the industry and realizing the opportunities that lie within the agricultural sector. And that's why I've decided this is definitely a place to be.
The father and daughter team mainly focuses on cattle farming and apple production. But since Sekgoto joined her father in farming, weather patterns have changed. The El Nino weather phenomenon has devastated the cultivation of crops and slowed down economic growth.
That was very hard, I won't lie. Last year, the issue was we had, when the drought kind of, hit really bad levels, our crop, we had planted sunflower and maize, and we only got back 30% of what we planted. And what made it worse is that we had debt that we had obviously, financed, that had financed the crop. And so we weren't able to pay that. And then the beginning of the year, our apple orchard also did not produce enough crop for us to go to the market, which meant 3 months worth of income, which was lost from January to March. And sadly, with that, we actually had to take a decision to retrench a few workers, which was very hard for us.
Many young farmers like Sekgoto believe that farming needs a change of image to attract more young people.
As I explored the industry, the focus I'm now kind of looking at is with youth in agriculture.
So now you got to make farming cool and shit.
Gotta build the Instagram just for farming and shit.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, but these white farmers, they're if you get rid of them, man, it is going to be a shit show over there, man.
It's been one of the most contentious and highly debated forms of crime in South Africa for many years now. But now police say farm attacks are on the decrease. They say the breakthrough has come because of successful crime prevention program they've put in place, focusing specifically on rural areas. But there are still lingering concerns in the farming sector, particularly the loss of skilled, experienced farmers should attacks flare up. Ronald Masunda reports.
Jan Tamboer says he has vivid memories of the day when 4 thugs stormed the farm near Jeffreys Bay last year. They ransacked his house, stole money and food, and brutally assaulted his wife. Tamboer, who was also shot in the head, says he now has to look after his wife, whose leg had to be amputated after the attack.
En die huis en ek het gehoor hoe hy met hulle praat en vra vir hulle, wat maak julle dan nou? Hoe kom julle dan in die deur, julle klop nie, julle kom so onverskillig in. Hulle het gesê, dit maak nie saak nie, ons kom in. En hulle het ingekom, en toe hulle in die huis inkom, het hulle in die kamer ingegaan, toe sien ek nie, dit is hierdie mense, is nie mense wat vir mense vir onwelkom kuier nie, dit is iemand anders.
2 of the culprits were arrested, and on Friday, they were handed sentences of up to 30 years in prison. David Fallon, a community activist, says he fears that more of these attacks are contributing to farmers and their workers to quitting the sector.
There's a family from Hankey. The husband was away. The attacker came, shot his way into the house, raped the mother, attempted to rape the daughter, attempted to get the son to rape his sister. And
you heard that? Attempted to make the son rape his sister. They always do shit like that. Like that's just wicked. Like think about like coming into somebody's house to rob them and you still have time enough to like hold them at gunpoint and say, "Hey man, rape your sister." That's a wickedness that is just unquenchable.
Something wrong with his mind.
They take their time with them, yeah. Have you ever heard what they believe in how to get rid of AIDS?
Yeah. You rape a virgin.
Yeah, and they usually do it with babies because they believe.
The pureness, the babies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely insane. Yeah.
They believe that's the cure.
They
for
do
AIDS.
that?
Yeah, they believe to get rid of AIDS, you have to pass it on to somebody else. And the best way is if you use somebody who's pure and innocent. So
Hell no.
they do it to babies, yeah. And the babies
these
often die.
Yo, these people are just sick. There's no helping this at all.
Yeah, man. It's no solution.
Yeah, there's no solution. You just gotta pop them, and that's it.
Yeah, it's
the
tough
fuck?
being a farmer. And listen, this happens to black farmers and white farmers, but it happens more to white farmers though, like because of the animosity towards them. But yeah, these motherfuckers, these people out here, they attack all types of people. They're wicked. Like it's just wicked, man. We see all about the grandmothers in was that Kenya? We did the story a week ago. The grandmothers, they're just wicked, man. Like there's a wickedness. Let me put it like this: it's probably not even wickedness. Let me change it. It's probably just they operate on a different operating system. It's kind of like a computer. Like their operating system is just different.
It's animalistic.
Yeah, like I'm gonna come into your house.
They're beasts.
And I'm gonna make your siblings have sex while I watch. Like, yo, instead of like just grabbing the loot and getting the fuck on.
Yeah, which that's what most people would do. Just get the money and get the fuck out. That's what I would do. If I was a criminal, yo, I'm gonna just get the money and I'm out. Yo, I don't mean no harm. I just want the cash and I'm out. I'm not doing all that shit.
Even if I did rape the wife, I would just rape the wife and then get the fuck out.
Well, who was talking about hormones? Because personally, I'm of the opinion when sons do these like heinous crimes, right? I'm of the opinion half of what drives them to do it is like the action. Like they just like that's the game. Like they just love to do it, money or not. Or else how do you explain why they stab people for like a fucking pair of shoes worth $100?
Yeah, it's
They're
exciting.
evil.
Well, it's just animal behavior.
It's like a vampirism. Like they gotta quench that fucking sun energy.
That's how you get what you want in a very rudimentary sort of existence. Is you just violently attack somebody that has something you want.
Yep.
It's just animal behavior.
Yeah, that shit is wicked, yo. That shit is wicked, man. We got Mac Mean in the building. Shout out to Mac Mean, man.
Quitting the sector.
From the dirty section, man. We got the dirty section in the building, man.
It's a family from Hankey. The husband was away. The attacker came, shot his way into the house, raped the mother, attempted to rape the daughter, attempted to get the son to rape his sister. And he was eventually caught and tried. I was privileged to be in court when he was sentenced. I think he got 30 years, not enough. But that family, through the trauma, sold up the farm and they've moved to Australia.
The South African Police Service says between April and June this year, only 14 farmers were killed in the country. And while those in agriculture acknowledge that policing in rural areas is improving, they say more can still be done.
you can go to the stats. If you see 10 years ago, the amount of small stock farmers, if I talk about small stock, I talk about sheep and goat farmers in our province, have decreased tremendously. And the biggest issue that we are facing is stock theft. And that's also a huge concern for us.
Agriculture plays a critical role in the country.
This each cross right here is representative of a white farmer that was killed by the each cross is a white farmer that was killed.
Yeah, let's not forget it's not only farmers that they kill. There's also a bunch of just regular whites that live there, and very poor whites. They also get tortured and killed.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
But each cross right here is like some
Damn.
white person on the phone. And listen, they kill them brutally. Like it ain't just like we talked about. It's like brutal. That like
it's in the most horrific way you can imagine. It's unbelievable what they do to these people.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And this is a thing. And Trump talked about this today. That's why we doing this, because Trump said
Good for him.
that he said good for Trump. Trump said he gonna try to do something about this. And I'm like, yo, if Trump try to do something about this, like it's one thing to mess with like Central American countries, but when you mess with an African country, all that FBA versus tether shit gonna go out the window. Niggas gonna get mad. Niggas gonna have a problem with the American government fucking with an African country. They're gonna have a problem with that shit. They're gonna have a problem.
That's a lot of crosses, though. I mean, damn.
It goes on. There's many
Yeah,
more.
the murder rate in South Africa is insane.
Yeah, it is. It's out of like you can't even fathom, because they don't even keep. They keep stats, but they don't keep like accurate stats. But for the stats they keep, it is absolutely. I think they're number one. I think they're the most the either top 5 or something. But they have a shit ton of murders. I'm talking about like tires. They put tires around people's necks. They put they set a lot of people on fire in broad daylight over there.
Necklacing.
Yeah. It's nothing to shit. It's nothing to see somebody on fire and shit. But yeah, this group right here, Julius Malema, yeah, he's the one. He's the one that is. Oh, let me get to Trump. Let me see what Trump said, man. Trump. Okay, here it is, right here. Trump said,
because nobody talks about this.
Hey, for real,
Trump-
I've never heard.
He said South Africa is confiscating land and treating certain classes of people very badly. It is a bad situation that the radical left media doesn't want to so much as mention. A massive human rights violation, at a minimum, is happening for all to see. The United States won't stand for it. We will act. Also, I will be cutting off all future funding to South Africa until a full investigation of this situation has been completed.
Damn, respect.
Wow. That's crazy. Like, because black people gonna be like, man, but what about slavery? Y'all give us reparations. Like, it's gonna be about everything but this. It's gonna be like, what about me? What about me? And this gonna be interesting to see how, because Trump got a lot of support from blacks, right? Because as much as any Republican could get, they voted for him as much as any Republican could get, and now that he's getting rid of the illegals, they're supporting him. But this right here, I think this is gonna be a problem with Trump, man. As far as far as bottle. Here we go. Right here, talking about it right here.
African nations and why South Africa. So you said that you were going to cut aid from South Africa. Will you plan to cut aid across other African nations and why South Africa?
It's only South Africa. Terrible things are happening in South Africa. The leadership is
happening in every African country.
terrible things, horrible things. So that's under investigation right now. We'll make a determination. And until such time as we find out what South Africa is doing, they're taking away land, they're confiscating land, and actually they're doing things that are perhaps far worse than that.
And on that, so you said that you were going to.
So Trump beefing with an African country is going to be that shit. I don't know, man, how that's going to work out, man.
The media is gonna spin it that he's being racist.
Of course they are.
Yeah, they're not gonna see the part that hey, he's trying to save people's lives. They're not gonna see that part.
Of course they are.
I don't know what Donald Trump has to do with South African land because he's never been here. And he must keep his America. We will keep our South Africa.
We'll keep our money then, huh?
We'll keep our money.
For real. South Africa is our land. South Africa belongs to all the people who live here in South Africa. It does not belong to Donald Trump. He can keep his America. And Ede is even worse. He's even worse. When I meet him, I will tell him.
He's a poopy pants.
Donald Trump, you are even worse because your forebears came to America. They found the native, the indigenous Americans. They wiped them out. They killed nearly all of them. We are living. We are
Oh, that's what they're doing.
And black and white. We are going to find solutions for our land question. So Donald Trump must leave us alone. He must leave us alone, Maori. When we were facing apartheid, when we were facing oppression, he was not here. He did not fight side by side with us. And we were able, on our own. Yeah.
Well, that's not really true. Like a lot of Americans, I mean, I don't know Donald Trump in personally, but a lot of Americans, there was a divestment of companies that a lot of divestment from companies that were supported this white South African government. There was a lot of pressure put on the white South African government to end apartheid.
They got Americans.
And all the aid we send them. So I guess we'll keep our aid too.
And let's not forget that all these sunwards there, they have no claim to the land of South Africa because it was empty before gliders came there.
Right.
There was literally nobody there before gliders settled there.
And South Africa was a powerhouse of the country.
And now all the sons are moving there and colonizing them and getting rid of the gliders.
Facts.
It's a travesty.
It was a nuclear power, I think. Actually, I think the first
they had all types of shit.
The first heart transplant in the world took place in South Africa, I think.
Oh shit.
Fighter jets, all that stuff.
They never actually made nuclear weapons. They disbanded that program when they realized that it was going to be a black-run government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
thank
sounds
God.
like a good idea.
They were smart.
Yeah, thank God. That's why we're still alive.
Apartheid tore South Africa apart. Some say the white oppressors are now the persecuted. White farms are being robbed and farmers murdered.
Not only do they kill, but the way they kill. They torture you.
The government says they're crimes like any other in a society where poverty breeds violence.
There is crime which is affecting everyone, whether black or white.
Their victims claim that behind the farm attacks is racial hatred, stirred up by politicians.
We've been murdered for some time now. They are coming to take the land as well. And I think that's very hard to conclude that there's not a racist motive.
And there are more crosses for the dead white people.
Yeah, these people need weapons. Like, I legitimately hope there's like a pipeline that someone's helping them.
But they're organizing themselves.
To kill.
This is hate. This is
that dude's
political
legitimately
hate.
crazy. If you listen to him talk during Parliament,
That's Julius Malema, man.
he's out of his mind.
Kill the white people.
He wants to consolidate everything. Like, he wants control of every single aspect of society.
I mean, he's a communist, a Marxist. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Taking the future into our own hands.
180 years ago, Afrikaner farmers, the Boers, crossed the Vaal River with their ox wagons and flocks. They bought off or fought off the scattered tribes that lived across the river. A century later, any black landowners that remained were forced to leave. Under the policy of apartheid, the only blacks who were allowed to live here were workers on the white men's farms or in the white men's mines.
Ark, I have an idea.
Keep those weapons on the target.
I think maybe the South African Sun people, they should create a sports league that the gliders in South Africa could participate in. And then they could, be like the Sun people here in America.
I mean, I'm sure they got sports and shit. I mean, they got everything, but it's just, you probably just don't know about it because it's not like big time and shit.
They got to worry
Keep your
about staying
triangles,
alive.
gentlemen.
Now it's the Boers who are feeling under siege.
Keep your barrel on the target. I want as many barrels pointing at windows as possible.
When a farm attack's reported, armed civilians often arrive long before police.
Clear. Windows left. Come on, ready? I haven't heard anybody shout if there's somebody in that house. Have we got a victim there?
The guns aren't loaded, but this training exercise is deadly serious.
Move, yeah.
There might be survivors in the house in desperate need of help, but the criminals might still be in there too.
Ready? Reach.
Okay, gents, what you did here was better than when you were coming through that door.
Trevor Roberts' security company, Conserve, used to specialize in guarding wildlife against poachers.
You guys are coming around and you're tending to turn the weapon.
Now, deterring and responding to violent robberies on isolated farms is his company's core business.
As little of your body being shown as possible.
A gun battle, he says, is the last thing he wants his volunteers to face.
So it's there, and then move. The ideal situation is to rather get the perpetrators out of the house and into the fields.
So you'd rather scare them away?
Rather scare them away and run, and our objective is to save a life, and that would be the victim.
An hour's drive southwest of Muldersdrift, on the maize fields around Fockville, on May the 13th this year, nobody was scared away, and nobody's life was saved. "78-year-old Fani Engelbrecht didn't have time to call for help. When Fani and his wife Colleen didn't show up for Mother's Day lunch, his son Johan strolled 300 meters up the track to his parents' house to investigate.
When I came here, my dad's vehicle was standing here, like he was already back from church, nothing unusual. And I went into the house. As I entered into the wall here, there was a lot of blood lying on the floor here. And I immediately realized that something is wrong. This is the door they actually broke down to get to a study. And I found them lying there, tied together, next to each other.
Right here, tied together?
Yeah, they were tied. My dad was lying on his back. My mother was lying face down, hands tied behind a back. My dad had a big gaping hole like the size of a golf ball in his throat. There was a pool of blood here all over. When I touched him, he was cold already. My mother was lying face down, but she was still hot. But I couldn't feel a pulse. Their throats were slit. They were tortured here. I found an iron cord around my mother's neck. She was obviously, they tortured her. And yeah.
Why do you think they would have done that?
I think they wanted the keys for the safes. They wanted the keys for the vehicles, you know, and they tortured them to get that information out of them.
And then they killed him.
They didn't stop.
He don't understand that that ain't why they tortured him. That ain't why they tortured him, man. But yeah, this right here, man. He's very calm, man. Like, yo, this dude very composed, man. Support the channel via PayPal, Cash App, with the Super Chat. Take the $7 challenge. Support the content, man. Are you guys not enjoying this content? You want me to do crime in Detroit or some shit like that every night? Or goddamn some 15-year-old fucking son turd carjacking somebody in fucking Memphis every night?
And then they killed him, yeah, when they're done. My dad always said, it's not if, it's when.
Did he?
Yeah. He knew it's coming. We all know it's coming. It's just a question of when.
When Johan called his wife Sue to tell her the grim news,
then why are
she
you
could
there?
barely speak to their daughter Tessa.
My ma het nie woorde gehad nie, want ek het haar gevra, "Mamma, wat gaan aan? Sê my wat gaan aan," want sy het so geruk toe my pa haar bel dat sy nie kon praat nie. En al wat sy kon uitkry is oupa, ouma vermoor. En ek het in mekaar ingesak, ek het gehuil en ek het nie geweet wat om te doen nie. Ek was baie naby aan hulle en hulle was albei wonderlike, sagte mense, kinders van die Here.
Aren't you frightened to live here?
Ek weet nie, as ek kamer toe gaan dit my laaste dag wees nie. Ek weet nie of ek dalk weer gaan opstaan nie.
En hierdie drade gaan nou seker hier inkom.
Belatedly, with the help of his neighbour, Johan Engelbrecht is installing electrified security fences around his farmhouse, mainly to assuage the fears of his wife and daughter.
I'm doing
Keep
it
the animals
because
out.
It might make them feel safer, but I know for sure that if they want you, they will get you outside. You can build a prison around your house, but at some point you have to leave that prison and go out and farm. And that's where they get you.
That's true. He said, damn, you can build a prison in your house, but you have to go to the fields and farm the land.
Get an AK and take it with you and just blast. Don't even.
My dad's best friend used to do security over there, and you have to shoot. He killed people nonstop.
Yeah, you have to.
Just to protect infrastructure. He said like every 3 to 5 years there would be an uprising, and the sons would just start looting and ripping apart, factories and shopping centers and whatever, and you just got to mow people down.
Wow.
Yeah, they only understand
You can
violence.
build a prison around your house, but at some point you have to leave that prison and go out and farm. And that's where they get you.
In Australia, a double murder on a farm would be headline news for days. Not in South Africa. It's just too common an event.
My one neighbor, Honest Kitching, and his wife, they were murdered about 6 months ago. Then there's Miss Simpson, Nikki Simpson. She was tortured, drilled through her knees and feet. Then there's Pitihu.
Drilled through her knees and feet.
Oh,
you ain't doing that to get no fucking keys, man. Because once you pull the drill out, the bitch gonna tell you where the keys at, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
She ain't gonna wait till you drill through her fucking kneecap to give you the keys. Not no
I
woman.
mean, just look at what sons do to each other here. Just
Yeah, for real.
vile shit all the time.
Yeah, look at Chicago and that. I mean, yo, this is just sick.
Shout out to Big Larry. Big Larry in the building. Salute.
So a neighbor not far from here, he was shot. Carl Hall was shot. So in the last 10, 20 years in this area, I can name 20, 30 attacks, murders on farmers.
Plaasmoeder is Afrikaans for farm murders. On a hillside in Limpopo province, a private landowner has planted more than 2,000 crosses.
Jesus Christ. Just in this area, they killed 2,000 fucking farmers. That's insane.
That they know of, too.
Each one represents an individual murdered in a farm attack since 1994. 75 more crosses were added last year, but that figure is controversial. The nation's biggest commercial farmers' union claims there were only 47 farm murders last year, the lowest number in nearly 20 years. AfriForum, an outspoken Afrikaner lobby group, says that figure is absurd.
It's certainly wrong. During the calendar year of 2017, there's been 84 farm murders that we could verify. And when we say we could verify, we mean we have a list and we have the names of the people actually who've been murdered. So to say that there's only been 47 is, I don't know if it's malicious or if it's negligence or if there's a problem with the process in collecting the data. There could be a variety of reasons why the number is wrong.
Bro,
it's malicious.
It's political.
Whether farm murders last year numbered 47 or 75 or 84, they're dwarfed by the total number of people killed in one of the most violent societies on earth.
Who are the violent people?
This place, perhaps deliberately, reminds a visitor of a war cemetery. And like all such places, it's moving. Each one of these crosses represents somebody's father or mother, somebody's son or daughter whose life was brutally cut short. And yet these 2,000 crosses represent white farmers and their families murdered since 1994. If you planted a cross for every South African, black or white, who's been murdered just last year, the crosses would stretch beyond the horizon. Nearly 20,000 of them. And most of them have no memorial.
20,000 murders last year? And that country's nowhere near as big as America. Like,
no, 20,000 is low, dog. That's very low. It's more like 60 to 70,000 that they can confirm. And this is a country of like 60 million people, 70 million people.
Yeah. It's not as.
But they have a big illegal immigration problem too, because like in America, the only vestige of economic stability and prosperity is in South Africa. So all the African sons from the north are flooding in there to try and mine and loot or whatever. The unemployment rate here is like over a third of the population, close to half.
Shit's crazy.
Not far from the Engelbrecht's farm near Fochville is the so-called informal settlement of Deep Sloot. It's a place of dire poverty and soaring unemployment.
This settlement has grown up so much because
It wouldn't be wise to venture in here without a guide. Local journalist Golden Mtika is mine. He introduces me to Sabasu, whose family of 8 lives in a one-room shack. She's been waiting for a government house for 11 years. Most of that time, she's been unemployed.
I've done nursing, a 2-year course, yes, but I still can't find even just any other job, even without the one that I have qualifications for.
Where would you like to live if you could choose?
I would like to choose to live somewhere else because this place, I have small kids
What a
and I don't
stupid
think it's
question.
a good environment for my kids to.
Look at this. I mean, everywhere these people are, these fucking like sewers. There's just they haven't figured out how to cover the sewer. Like it's the darndest thing, man. Like nowhere where they don't live like under white people do they cover the sewer.
I mean, to be fair, it looks quite clean compared to others we have seen. And they even have toilets there. So
Yeah, they have porta potties.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they didn't build those. Those are
No, they
imported.
I was
didn't,
just
but
gonna say, I wonder where those came from.
imagine the smell in those.
I mean, God, imagine
Baking in the sun.
Yeah. It's like imagine when it rains, right? Like after it rains and then it gets out again.
Damn.
That little period. Oh my God.
Grow in. We don't even have water, and more especially about sanitation. It's something that.
Imagine all the pedophiles over here, man. Like, think about how hard it is to control pedophiles in America with all the laws we got.
I'm sure every woman in there's been raped.
At least once, yeah. I mean, what blows my mind is these people walk around there in flip-flops. That's the
And they could
craziest thing to me.
They could just put down a plank.
They don't have that stuff. Like, they don't have access to materials. They don't know how to. None of this occurs to any
Go
of them.
find a fucking piece of wood.
Well, even the stuff like that their houses are built out of are scraps from industries that they didn't build.
Keep in mind though, this isn't any different from what it was 100, 200, 1,000, 10,000. Like this is just the baseline. So like we're saying this is.
Well, this is an improvement from what it would have been.
True, that is true. But like sons didn't have fucking shoes because they're sons, so it's not anything new.
I mean, if you put the plank down, somebody's gonna steal it and burn it.
Think about it, right? Like, think about you put down a plank, right? Somebody would use that, like somebody with a hole in their roof would steal it and use it to patch the hole in their roof.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, you got a shit-covered piece of wood on your roof now.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's like, think about this though. Like, the one person who would take the initiative to like build a little bridge, like not even like, because this you wouldn't have to build a real bridge. You just have to build a little teeny bridge from here to here, right? The person that would take initiative to do that, that person probably has seen. That person's probably always been like that, right? They've always been a doer, a go-getter, or a person of action, right? So, like, think about living here your entire life. You probably so fucking beat down and so depressed and so you know what I'm saying, discouraged from every time you like did something, these people fucked it up or fucking, you know what I'm saying, like ruined
You would
it.
hate them. You would have to hate them.
Also, if you do that, you put the target on your back because they'll think he believes he's better than the rest of them. That's how low IQ people work.
Or they'll think you're doing some voodoo shit. Like,
Yeah, that's
like
you're a
that.
witch doctor or something. Yeah, some
Yeah.
shit like that.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, definitely. You think you did, and you wouldn't be received well. They wouldn't fucking throw you a parade. They would just, they would probably, you would be punished for it.
But sanitation is something that's
hard to keep the kids clean and healthy.
Yes, even to play on a clean environment.
Lack of sanitation is the least of Deep Sloot's problems, Golden tells me. It's plagued by crime, violence, and mob justice. The brutality that's a feature of many farm attacks is commonplace here.
Yeah, last year November here was about.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what I was looking for. This part, I was like, "Where is this? This is. That's what I thought with the little trench that we just saw. That's what I thought this was going to be. But okay, it's over here because it's always like the Western countries take the trash and put it somewhere. Like where I live at, there's a landfill not far, like like in the mountains, not far from where I live. You can see it from the highway. And it's like if they filled it and they put this big like tarp over it, right? So they put a tarp under it so that the shit don't seep into the groundwater. And then once it got so big, they put a tarp over it. And then they put like this mesh shit over it and shit. So that landfill is done. You can't put no more in it. And then I think I don't know what they're gonna do, whether they're gonna burn it, what they're gonna do with the trash. But then they got another landfill that they started. But the idea of taking the trash and putting it somewhere else, Black people haven't figured that out in a million years. You take the trash and you put it somewhere else.
Yeah, but that means
centralization.
That means you have to walk for 10 minutes.
Well, to keep in mind though, like products, waste, things that aren't from just like the raw materials from your savage like plain environment didn't exist in Africa, so they never even had the
biodegradable.
Right?
Everything was biodegradable.
Exactly. All they were throwing out fucking coconuts and shit, so it's biodegradable.
Of many farm attacks is commonplace here.
Yeah, last year November here was about 4 suspects.
Okay, so in 100 years they haven't figured out you take the trash and move it somewhere.
The thing about it is like this system existed when whites were running everything. And now that they're running everything, they just they can't even maintain something that an example was set for them. They just completely throw it out the window. They never saw any value in it in the first place. They didn't understand it.
Yeah,
because they're fine with it.
Of rape, and they brought them here at this pile of rubbish.
Think about how many fucking rats and fucking whatever the fucks is in that shit, and you live like 10 feet away from that shit.
Well, you're walking around in it and you got cuts on your feet. Feet are getting infected.
Oh yeah, that's how you get sepsis.
And that's how you get fucking Ebola or some shit.
Yeah, some shit
We
like
should see
that.
here. It was a multitude of people that were here. All of them, they were murdered here. They were killed by the residents, stoned, beaten by sharp objects. They put tires around.
Listen to what he's saying. Listen to what the fuck this guy said. He's describing what happened right there. This shit.
Of many farm attacks is commonplace here.
Yeah, last year November here was about 4 suspects who were apprehended by the community. They accused them of rape, and they brought them here.
Community.
A pile of rubbish you see here. It was a multitude of people that were here. All of them, they were murdered here. They were killed by the residents, stoned, beaten by sharp objects. They put tires around their neck, poured petrol, then they set them alight on. So they died here.
They were
killed
alive when
Yeah.
they did that.
Yeah, when they brought them here, they were alive. Yeah, they killed them here.
It's not just in the settlements and the countryside that crime is rising. In South Africa's great cities, Johannesburg, Cape Town, Durban and Pretoria, there's a crime wave too.
Look at that shit, man. White man left us all this shit. Like, this is what that looked like. I don't know American city that looks like that, man.
It looks nice.
That,
beautiful.
That looks better. DC, of course, don't look like that because we got the limits for buildings and shit. New York, Manhattan, fucking the lower part of Manhattan maybe, but that's a fucking beautiful ass city, man.
I mean, all I can see is those beautiful train tracks. Imagine in Africa how valuable that is to have trains. It's such a huge continent.
Telling you, man. And these motherfuckers are like literally killing each other over there. Barbarous, like fucking putting ties around each other's necks and shit in broad daylight and setting each other on fire, killing and shit, and in this fucking city, in this shit.
Destroying the train tracks.
Armed robberies of security vans, home invasions, street muggings. According to the internationally respected Institute for Security Studies in Pretoria, armed attacks have increased 40% since 2012.
We have a real problem with violence and expressed in various different ways. And so for us, sitting in South Africa, looking at these 19,000 murders, looking at trying to get a sense of where it's taking place, the various complex factors that result into it, this growth in armed attacks, the gangs involved in cash and transit heists. And then suddenly there's this international tension on the murders of white farmers. It just sort of seems completely disproportionate. It's not that it isn't a problem. And of course, for the victims, it's terribly traumatic. But it's not the biggest challenge facing South Africa.
Is there any evidence for
the only the problem with what he's saying is that a lot of those murders that he's talking about are amongst black people killing black people, or the coloreds as they call them, the biracials over there killing each other or killing black people. And there's gang violence and there's street crime. Those farmers are like just farming. They're not like into any conflict with anybody. They're not into any proximity with anybody. So that's the difference that he's not trying to say, you know.
Also, imagine if gliders would torture a Sunman over there. It would be international news for weeks. Just one case of torture. Only one.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Well, we just saw that viral video of them putting the guy in the coffin, which was clearly just them fucking with him to make sure he doesn't do it again. Because they're gliders, so they're not going to kill him.
I wonder what the reason for that was. Why did they put him in a coffin?
Oh, he was fucking with it. He probably came on their property and did some shit.
Yeah, right. Must have been a reason.
Scared the fuck out of him.
Of course they had a reason.
They taught him a lesson. Like, look, next time you're gonna stay in there.
Yeah, it's like the old mafia movies. They do that.
The type of shit that happened in South Africa is like you can't even fathom it, right?
So what we understand at this stage is that there is, in fact, a manhunt. We've been part of some of those operations that are happening, including at the mine dump just behind me. And we've seen several arrests that have been made, not just the three that the minister mentioned. In fact,
like this type of stuff could never happen in America.
All right, let's start with this absolutely horrific story to us. 8 women attacked and gang raped near a mine dump in Krugersdorp. It's understood the group was busy shooting a music video when a group of men attacked them.
Yeah, so the police. Think about it. You shooting a music video. You got the video hoes there, and some niggas just roll up, hold everybody at gunpoint, and gang rape all the women, and then like for hours, and then just roll the fuck out.
And it probably wasn't even planned, you know. It just happened. It was just the opportunity.
No, they just saw them. They didn't. They just saw them. In the video, they just seen them at the location, and they were like, "Oh shit!" They came over with their guns, held everybody at gunpoint, raped all of them. Like 30 of them. All 30 of them raped all the girls, and they just left. And it's like. Oh. That could not happen. Things like you say never, that could never happen in America.
Oh, it cannot, believe me.
A group of 30 dudes just roll up on a video shoot, fucking goddamn fucking Mariah Carey or Mary J. Blige or fucking Keith Sweat doing a video, and fucking 30 niggas just roll up and rape all the video hoes. That ain't happening. I'm telling you.
It can happen. Let me explain. If you believe your sons are somewhat better than the sons in South Africa, think again. Just wait until they're like 30-40% of the population. Once gliders are a minority in the US, this will happen to them. No doubt about it. It's just a matter of time.
That several arrests have been made. A shootout also took place between police and suspects. Let's go now live to ENCA's Lindogo Tlekulu, who is there and joins us now. Lindo, you will tell us about what the police minister has had to say in confirming this incident, but just locate us in terms of what happened, where, and what do we know at this point around this incident?
Well, to us, what we know as we've been on the ground for about 2 to 3 hours, following up on some of the details in terms of understanding exactly what happened, is that there was a group of about 22 people that were shooting a music video in one of the mine dumps here in Krugersdorp. And what we understand happened was that while they were filming, busy with the filming, they were then confronted by an unknown number of a group of men that essentially, you know, wielding high caliber rifles, and then had demanded that they all strip. We understand that the men were left to have stripped until they were left with their underpants. One of the men, as we understand, was even stripped even further than that. But the gruesome details that we're getting also is the fact that 8 of the 12 women that were part of that group were then gang raped by a number of those men. In fact, Minister Begitsele earlier on, when he addressed the media at Nasrec, just giving us a sense of some of the details that he understands at this stage, he was even going as far as giving details of saying that one of the women had been confirmed to have been raped by almost 10 people simultaneously, as he explained it, but saying that they were taking turns in terms of what had happened here. So what we understand at this stage is that there is, in fact, a manhunt. We've been part of some of those operations that are happening, including at the mine dump just behind me. And we've seen several arrests that have been made, not just the 3 that the minister mentioned. In fact, I can go as far as to tell you that I've seen almost 20 people that had been arrested here. But I think to contextualize what the minister is saying perhaps is around the fact that in terms of the suspects who are believed to be perpetrators as far as this crime is concerned, as far as this gang rape is concerned, we understand that those are the 3 suspects that have since been arrested. But operations have been sweeping all of the mine dumps here, looking at some of the illegal mining happening around the area. I can tell you we came from this particular mine dump, and on top of it, there were settlements there, and there were just all of sorts of material and that they use to, in fact, try and find all of the minerals that they are looking for in the illegal mining process. So the minister earlier on confirming that what they have been able to do so far is to arrest 3 people that they believe are, in fact, linked to this particular crime. But in hindsight, or in an overview of the things, I can tell you that there has been more people that have been arrested one by one. And
we were woken up about what happened in.
So yeah, man, that's like them type of crime. I don't give a fuck what you say. That shit ain't happening in America. We ain't like.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's demographics that's keeping it from happening. That's the only thing.
And guns. He's saying it'll happen in the future.
Nah, but we got a lot of guns in this country too. So they pull up like that, they might get whacked out.
Here in this dusty, almost forgotten place west of Johannesburg, a spine-chilling, nerve-wracking event would occur. For one of the victims, the scars of that fateful and tragic day is still haunting.
They caught a lot of them. Okay, so this salute to Herman, man. Shout out to you, Herman. Salute to Raw. Shout out to Raw, man.
Hauntingly fresh. A video shoot became a literal minefield, a nightmare of epic proportions. The usual shouts of producers and directors unceremoniously replaced by ringing gunshots.
As the director was about to say action, and then we see 3 guys coming from far approaching us. As they come closer, they start shooting in the air. And now we don't know what to do, what's happening. We look around, I look around. Everyone is running. And if I'm running to the other direction, Now it's no longer 3. There's this 3, and on the other side, on my left, there's like 15 guys. And I run to the other side, there's like more about maybe 12. So now we are surrounded, and everyone is armed. All these guys are fully armed. And they're instructing us to lie on the floor, keep our heads down. They're gonna kill us.
After being stripped and robbed, well, this victim, speaking anonymously, says she thought it was the end of their ordeal. But the reality, it was just the beginning.
It started around, the sun was still out. Until now, it's getting darker. This nightmare is not ending.
She said they did that shit from sun up to sundown. God damn.
Crying, we've cried. I was crying. Now it's not stopping. We've prayed.
That just shows you how lawless the land is. Like, it's just a lawless land, man. You could do shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta be a breakdown for shit like that to be high. I don't give a fuck what the demographics are. Like, in Jamaica, that couldn't happen. You can't.
Yeah, I think this shit happens all the time.
In Jamaica, no, maybe Haiti, but not in Jamaica. A video shoot, motherfuckers doing a music video with a cameras, directors, a whole set, lighting and crew, and a fucking bunch of niggas, 30 niggas just roll up with guns in broad daylight. I'm gonna during the daylight time hours, lay everybody down, rob them, gang rape all the women for hours and hours and hours, and just roll out.
I mean, a video shoot there is just a sun man with the phone. It's just
This was a real video, dog. This wasn't like, this was a real musical act. This wasn't like a sun man with a phone. This was a real lighting crew, a whole fucking set and all that shit. This was not. They had video hoes. They had dancers and shit. They had. You know what I'm saying? They. This was like any other video shoot.
That's why I think it's an issue. That's why it made television, because whoever is in charge of this band or whatever knows somebody. Otherwise, who fucking cares? But someone's connected.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't hire security guards.
Yeah, if you got security guards with guns, like 10, 20 guys with AKs, those dudes will hesitate to pull up because they know they might not leave alive.
But maybe you don't think that that's gonna happen, because even if you live in a lawless land like that, everybody's not like, you just like, what they didn't happen the last time they shot the video. It didn't happen the time before that they shot the video.
Yeah,
it didn't happen when the other artists shot the video. Like, it just happened this time. But I'm saying though, but it's like, still, it's just like, it just like, lawless,
completely unpredictable.
Yeah. Like, you're not going to shoot a video thinking like, yeah, man, 30 dudes going to roll up and just have a fucking all day orgy with our video hoes while we lay face down naked in our underwear. Like, come on, man.
Damn.
And this is supposed to be the most advanced sub-Saharan country.
It is. They left it for them. They left it.
It's awful.
Like that.
It's a nightmare.
They've been in charge for almost 30, 40 years though. Since then,
they start taking girls one by one and raping. And there's ditches there, so they take one girl and put on the other ditch, and then they rape. And multiple of them, they didn't care. They just didn't care.
After a staggering 10 hours, it was
10
over.
hours!
They were ordered to return.
10 hours.
80 men is like the whole village.
It was 30. But it is like,
someone in the chat posted a different headline.
Oh, Ted, it was 80 of them? Well, no, I don't know. It was 30.
No, they said 30.
Yeah,
What I heard.
I mean, they took some break,
So
you know, they smoked
ridiculous.
some weed,
You know how
had a
long
Yeah,
10
drink.
for
hours
real.
is? Yo, we've been on here for 3 hours. That means three times as long as this plus another hour.
Yeah,
Yo, they had to take
In the
breaks.
open. In the open. Like
you
those
could have
people
been
who
out there graping people instead.
Yeah, but they had to take breaks, I'm sure. Like they had to like, all right,
yeah,
yo,
for
it's
sure.
your turn. I'm
Took
gonna
a
keep
nap.
watch.
Take a nap because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Take a
I'm gonna go buy some milk or some shit. Like
a condom run.
seriously,
I had to make a condom run and shit. Like, yeah,
Take a nap.
that's
that
insane.
shit is mind boggling, man. Like, cause it's like black societies be breaking down so far that you know what I'm saying, like shit like this can happen, man. And then they caught the dudes, but what they gonna like I mean, like what happens to them? It would have been better if the villagers had caught them, but then how the villagers gonna catch that group with all of them armed to the teeth? They
I
Yeah,
stayed
wonder what
alone with
South
the village.
Africa's prison system's like.
Oh,
not good at all. I bet.
we did that. We did that story a couple years ago, man. Their prison system is insane, man. I'm talking about it's run by the prisoners.
Oh shit.
Each cell block is run by a different like lord or a warlord or something, and the guards just keep them in there. They just keep them in there, but inside of the prison, everything, the food distribution, everything is run by the prison.
Oh, okay, I get it. I get it.
It's
Damn.
basically the slum we've seen before, just with the wall around it.
Yeah, you just can't leave.
Yeah, basically.
Turn to their cars. On the road, they flagged a passing police vehicle, and the nature of the ordeal and the screaming headlines spurred police to action. Not long after, more than 80 people were nabbed during an exhaustive police sting.
Oh shit,
But there's a
80. Fuck.
Yeah,
Jesus
that's
Christ. He was right.
unbelievable.
Right.
Damn.
80. It was right. Damn. So they must have called in reinforce. I guess word spreads like, yo, call Tommy in there, man. Like, yeah. I mean, once you realize the police ain't coming, ain't nobody coming, you like, hey
For
man,
real.
call
The
him
whole
in.
neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, call Jay Quan, call Pookie, call all them people.
God damn, 80 shit. That's insane, man. Oh fuck, man. Like, yo, them poor girls, man. I'm sure think about like their day, starting that day. Like this your big break. You about to be in the I mean, even though they probably ain't gonna be on MTV, but it's gonna be on South Africa MTV. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
they
on South
happy.
but you in the South African Music Awards and shit. You're like, yeah, this is my big break and shit. You putting your makeup on, you go to the site, and then god damn it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
If they'd put half the energy into work, the country would be much better.
Facts. But they're not gonna do that.
Nope.
Shit.
They're gonna go hunt for some other photo shoot.
Yeah.
snag. Currently, the men in the dock have only been charged with being in the country illegally.
I know they've been arrested.
They've only been charged with being in the country illegally.
Yo, that is insane.
Wow.
They've been made, but I feel like we are forgotten. It's all now just numbers of we've arrested so and so, and no one is coming and checking on the victims that were there. How are you guys holding up? Do you have food? What do you need?
Oh yeah, this ain't America where you gonna get like grief counseling and all that shit. What you think
Yeah.
you in America? This
Yeah.
shit ain't nobody checked up on them or asked what he was doing. Yeah,
I guarantee
Yeah,
you, a lot
no.
of the guys that grabbed didn't even have anything to do with this. They have no idea how to actually verify any of that. They
That's
don't do
true.
DNA over there. They
Nope.
don't have any sort of policing practice. You know, it's
No
just
cameras.
you come here.
Hey, They probably told him, "You're lucky to be alive."
Yeah,
Fucking,
for real.
thank God.
They probably threatened them like,
Yo, they're lucky to be alive because you could have died just from the 10 hours of doing that shit. Fuck that. That's a shit. God damn, them girls had it. I mean, shit.
So now I have to leave this and go through this whole situation by myself again. And it's so hard. Even mental wellness, because I get anxious, I get palpitations, I don't sleep at night.
You think? She
damn, poor
probably see
girls,
this
yo.
nigga. If I probably walked in the room, she'd probably have a heart attack just because I'm a black dude. She after 80 dudes, man, shit. She probably like fucked up beyond repair. Like you can't do shit with her mind, man.
All you could do is like medicate.
Yeah,
But
you can't fix that. 80 dudes, no. 10 hours, nah. You can't. You can't. And then you was on a video shoot. It'd be one thing if she was like walking through like a rough neighborhood. She was on a video shoot. Oh yes, her trust level is all gone.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, man.
It's a
Any
no
final
trust society.
any final thoughts, man?
Much love, nation.
Salute.
Yeah,
Thanks for
man.
having me on. Have a
Salute,
nice
man.
day.
Thanks,
Same
Doc.
time, same black channel. I'm out of here. Peace.